And what is going on, you guys? And welcome to another week of the Shattered Throne, episode 23. Man, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. You've heard it here first, and it's not LeBron James.
Mhm.
I'll fight anybody on it. But thank you guys for joining us along this road, man. It's been so fun, it's been so exciting, and we're just getting started. There's so much more that's still going on that I can't wait for it. It's going to be so exciting. Well, my lovely adventures, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll kind of give a recap. I know it's been a bit, so we'll share some of the stuff going on.
Hi, I'm Mojo, and I play Shonen Gold, a young human barbarian man.
I am Fritos. I play Raven, the half elf druid bartender.
I am Textalion, and I play Tydox, the gnome artificer.
私はエーテル
You
I
gonna say
love
your name?
I did.
it did say it. I love that it's always something different every single episode.
I'm Dorfies, and I play Jared.
And then it just followed. It's by
Very
whatever
simple.
mass Ert says every time. Then goes into the hey, I'm Zorpheus, just the
Hi.
classic, just
And
like
Jared.
Hey guys.
I love it. It kills me every time. Um, a recap of what's been going on, man. We are at a nice little crossroads of sorts as we have begun to finish Act One of this campaign. Our group has seen many adventures, so we're going to go a little bit of a longer recap of things that have happened. Um, King dies, they get accused of it. They go out and they get sent on a mission after Mr. Yosef, High Priest Yosef, saves their life from whatever was going to happen as they were going to get executed. And they go off on
Allegedly.
this adventure to go find some magic items so that they can assist in a ritual to protect the kingdom from any foreign invaders while the new king becomes of age. And so they were set on this path for about a year to go figure out what's going on. They've acquired a couple magic items, whether it's from the killing of the brood mother, as they found a horn inside her chest. They found a shield within the lost temple of Mimir, and then finally they have gotten the boots of shadow walking from the prince, or properly the fake King Viken. As they see, the real King Viken has now offered them a deal lately in their new endeavors, as they kind of burned down a lot of their castle, and vampires do not like fire. And so they light this on fire. They get away with a little cunning deal instead of losing their lives to trick the king into killing the king of Elysium, um, who's already dead. So that is on their to-do list, bucket list, is to go kill that king who's already dead, which is a very conniving way to go do this. As they have left Mycelium, they leave on the back of Squirt, kind of licking their wounds as they had just been in a rather tough battle. Um, Barely hanging on. Would have been tougher in phase two, but they got out and left by the skin of their teeth. And as they are on Squirt, um, with many questions still at hand, who actually killed the king? If it wasn't the king, the people of Mycelium, who did it? And should they continue to find these magic items despite their feelings towards High Priest Yosef? Will they continue on or try to find a new way? Try to find something that releases the magic within them? Is it gathering at different sources? Is it places that they could go? The world is their oyster, and they are their pearl. The hidden treasures, my friends, my adventurers, we find you guys gazing out into the sunset of the day. Because you guys had left, it was like, almost nighttime, and then you guys had basically start to see the sun setting in the horizon on the back of Squirt. In, quite frankly, not the safest waters. Things that you found out about this area were that there was a strong sensation that the Pirate King is a hoarder of all sorts of different treasures, and that might be a good place to look to see if one of the magic items has found its way into its lair. The desert off to the east, you already know, holds another treasure that you're looking for. Up north is another one that you have already been aware of. However, that's where the giant man-sized birds that screamed all sorts of nonsense at you, that revealed some of your biggest fears, and voices of your loved ones. Very scary place, but could be an option to go to. And then the west being the land of the orcs and the cannibals.
Is that Gorzarod?
That is the Quagmire. Gorzarod is the capital city of the. It's hard to really call it a city, but it is a. Basically the chief, like, imagine like a camp, but very large camp.
So the Quagmire has the cannibals?
The Quagmire is the marshland to the west, home to the cannibals and the orcs.
Oh yeah.
The orcs are the cannibals, but it's that land that is out to the west. It's called the Quagmire. Up north is called the Feral Flatlands. To the east is the Barren Waste, which is the desert area. South is known for the Cutthroat Isles, which only by finding you've only heard rumors of the lair to the Pirate Kingdom. But all of you guys
be pirates.
have gathered here with your 5 friends, and we now have the Owlin Librarian. I don't remember the name that you guys have.
Susan! You think I'll forget that? I'll remember Susan.
Susan. That is not her name. So that's
her name. Her name is
Her
Susan.
name now.
Of what it is. So, Susan. So every time I think of her name, I'm like, oh, that's not what they have now switched her name. And then our wonderful little dragon, who's not so much a little dragon anymore. Moro.
Moro Bay.
Slowly getting bigger and bigger. And this is where you guys find yourselves. As the twilight of the night begins to approach, what do you guys do?
I think wait, so are we on a boat?
We're on Squirt.
On the
We're on a
back
squirt?
of Squirt, your dragon turtle companion.
Did we already decide where we were going?
You have not.
We
We
have
have not decided where we're going. I thought we were kind of on our past adventure. We were like, we're gonna go to the Azure Vale.
Your past adventure, you
where?
said a million things, and I said,
the Azure
Okay.
Veil.
Oh.
Azure
What-
is the name. Azure Vale
Gesundheit.
is the name of the place, but yes. when you guys,
It's not funny.
It's so funny.
Ah.
so
Tried, Mojo. I tried.
you're
That
silly.
funny laugh.
My
Dude,
inner
you're so
monologue
stupid.
said that was so stupid. Don't you break. You stay strong.
Then you broke.
Good.
He's just so fast. You just let him do that to you. You hold strong in the face of adversity.
All right, as we gather back to the setting that I took 12 minutes to set.
My input was I was interested in going to the desert to find the fancy beetle.
I think our consensus was it was kind of dangerous to go to the lawless lands of the pirates.
Was that the Cutthroat Isles?
Yeah, I believe you guys had a lot of input, but I don't know if you guys had full on made a decision to where to go or the direction in which you guys want to go. The East also is known for slavers, so everywhere you're at in this little spot, danger is around the corner. So, what danger should we go to? Is the
Alright. Okay, this might sound a little crazy, but hear me out. We take a bottle and we spin the bottle, and whichever way it points, we just go there.
I like that idea.
That's a stupid idea.
I like it. There's a lot of luck involved in there, and I like it.
And it just points straight back north, and we have to go fight Vikings.
I feel like this is how we
turn
kick it every
around, walk
time.
up, and be like, "Hey, we're done. We killed him. You're welcome."
I'm almost
I think the
done with
last time we did this, we
bottle.
went to the rabbit village.
You guys went to the last time you guys did this on just a whim. Hey, go to the closest area. You guys had gone to the giant crow ravens who were screaming horrors at you guys, and you guys were like, "Let's turn around."
Yeah. Right? The Crimson Wolf.
I think
I just finished this
We should-
bottle. If you want me to spin it.
Yeah.
let's do it, Raven. I think it's a great idea.
All right.
No, that's a little silly.
I'm just saying, I've got a good idea.
Well,
I mean,
part
I
of
got
me thinks
8 directions. There's 8 directions on a compass. We can do this.
Is there 8 directions?
I mean, like
there's-
8 primary
yeah.
directions. I shouldn't have to explain this.
Ow!
It hurts.
I know how to read
I mean,
maps, everyone.
I think they should have taught you that in the military, but I don't know. Maybe that's just they definitely taught me that, so I don't know what happened there.
I thought it said West.
Well, my thought is that I'm a captain, and so I maybe want to go talk to the other captain who's down in the Cutthroat Isles. I know he's a pretty scary dude, but I think everywhere is kind of just scary around here. But I think Raven, you wanted to go over to the desert to get some plants, right, and some stuff for your potions.
Yeah, I mean, the Cutthroat Isles is on the way, so I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater on that one.
Kind of bathwater.
Very stinky.
We can bottle it up and sell it.
I'm mostly just against going to the cannibals.
I'll tell you what, I certainly am not against saying hi to some fellow cannibals, but probably is a good idea to find some gold. Find some treasure in the Cutthroat Isles.
A big question. I know you guys have also not taken a long rest in God knows how long. And so
A minute.
you guys
Hot
have
minute.
really started to, as you guys are on the wave of the water, trying to figure out what to do next. You do start to realize how long this journey has been. Months have gone by since you started, and as you look out to the waters, as the sun begins to set, the water is dark. And it's a little bit peaceful, especially for the idea that this place is so dangerous. And you almost get a calming sensation as you guys are here. The feelings of your eyes begin to bag. This journey's been hard. It's been tough.
Well, you boys want to sleep on it, maybe, I guess. We can see where we drift to.
I have a question. I think. Hold on. Please hold. Never mind. I'm having some technical difficulties. Go for it.
That, that's a great idea, Captain. Need to do some of the research. So if somebody needs to take a first watch while the rest rest, I will happily do that. I
Tydox,
use watch as a loose term.
Watch is a loose term. Well, speaking of watching, I have an idea, Tydox. It's getting dark out here. There's not a lot of light source. A little bit of the moon, but you ever heard of these things called anglerfish? I don't know why I sound like this, but Calmer's a little bit country,
Oh, it
a
sounds
little
like.
bit
Why
Have
must
you ever heard of
take
I
everything
believe-
from me? Leave my accent alone.
Yeah, but it's a little grovelly.
Probably.
Grovelly. Oh, I'm Captain Murray. Here we go. I gotta get back in that accent. All right. No, it's not working. It's not working.
I believe that you're referring to the fish that live near the depths that use light to lure in the prey.
Yes, with those little fancy antennas. Do you think we can build something for our boy Squirt, so that way we have something that can illuminate the front of us as
For
we're
a second,
coasting through?
instead of going one of the 8 directions, we're just gonna go down.
What? Well, hear me out, Captain. We're in the middle of hostile territory. I don't think we want to be seen. I don't think we want any sort of light on us.
Yeah, but it'd be cute.
It would be cute. Okay. Well,
Tydox
that's-
takes 1
that's
point
not
of
a
psychic
priority.
damage because that hurt him so bad. And I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna take that 1 point of psychic damage.
Raven keeps
Is there-
thinking.
Is it hurt with an eye?
I just look hurt. I
Hurt.
just look at
Hey,
Joe
go
with,
ahead and
like,
take another one. Go ahead and take another. That one hurt me too. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, Captain, I acquired some of the materials that I would like to just tinker with for a while. I don't really have a preference on where to go. The desert sounds fine to me. There's a lot of mystery in there and probably a lot of useful things, but I know that does take us through the pirates' territory. So if we're willing to risk that, then might as well. I really don't want to end up in the cage of cannibals either. So
Or slavers to the east as well. So
Well, I tried to enslaved before. It'll be okay. No big deal.
I had
We're
faith in
enslaved
you,
right
Captain.
now. We're enslaved right now, so it don't really
I
matter
figured
too
by,
much.
by the way, you
Yeah,
look at it. You're right.
The
You're
cannibals
correct.
were
My bad.
the
You can
bad
sur-
one.
You can survive.
That's not me. My bad. I
cages.
do. I am sorry.
can't survive
like the
being eaten.
slavers. Yeah.
We won't be a very
Can-
good deal. It'll be like, oh, our heart's gonna explode anyways in 9 months. So,
I feel like Tydox can like morally justify beating up some slavers, but the cannibals just trying to survive. Maybe.
we're desperate.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Alleged cannibals.
Alleged cannibals. You're right.
Are we just discriminating against them because they're orcs?
Hey,
How do you
orcs gotta
define
eat
cannibal?
too, bro. Dude, man, it's going a full free. I'm sorry. It's just like okay, guys. What are you doing?
So when dragons do cannibalism, it's okay.
Yeah,
But when the
yeah.
orcs do it,
My bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
That dragon consented to it.
it's true.
It didn't consent to being eaten alive. You're right.
Yeah, we
world's
wanted
so
that Dragusti.
Who
This
created
world
the
is-
orcs, don't ask.
Who created this? That's fucked up, dude. Who created this? Do you guys take a long rest for the night? I will say it will take 3 watches to complete the long rest, and things will happen if you guys try to sleep on the thing. You can also try to risk it, try to sail through the night towards whichever direction you want to go. Cutthroat Isles would probably be the closest place to find like a city. Um, they're all it's a lawless land there as well.
The law is lawless.
And so it might take you a little bit to get there, but you'd certainly make the voyage before you would need to really take a sleep before you take some exhaustion. But if you guys try to just sleep on the raft or on Squirt, who is acting as a raft, you would certainly do that. I can't guarantee what would happen after that.
Blinded by the light.
Would the consequences be mitigated with subsequent watches?
Yeah, that's what things will happen as you guys go to sleep. Depending on the roles and then depending on what you guys do, the consequences of said thing would be kind of up to you.
Astronomical.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys make the choice. You could try to push it.
Or long rest.
With the
I
watches.
don't know about you boys, but I'm plumb tired. Yeah, with the watches.
Yeah. Like I said, I can take the first watch. I have a lot of study to catch up on.
Hmm. Oh,
I'll
that's-
wait. How many people do we got?
You need 3 watches. There's 5. Technically, you have 6 people. Moro can technically do a watch. But would you want Moro to watch you guys with no supervision? Is the
He's a grown boy. He needs to sleep. He just ate a whole dragon.
Oh yeah.
He's exhausted.
I'll be the last watch. I don't need much sleep.
All of you guys need exactly 6 hours of sleep outside of Raven. So
I need 4 hours and 30 seconds.
You didn't use any resources, so who cares?
You can resource these nuts.
Can take the second watch.
okay. So the first watch goes to. Do you just want one, and then other people will sleep through it, or anybody else choose to do a 1, 2, or 3? Raven and Jared specifically.
I mean, I'm still drinking, so I'll stay up with Tydox.
Okay. Jared.
Oh, do we?
We all know Jared will not sleep through the night. I guess.
Jared B. Rutherford.
Which one's open? The
Second or third. You can also do the first as well and stay up for 2 hours longer.
we'll just take the first. We'll do first and then.
Okay. And then Show and Ert will be by themselves.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay. Everyone cool with that? Okay. Our group of the first watch. Before anyone takes a long rest, we'll see if you guys make it through the night. Okay.
Make
first-
it through the night.
First watch. You guys can role play however you would like. All of you roll a perception. Raven, you get in with advantage because of the eye.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Dirty
Give me
20.
chapstick.
Okay.
Chapstick. Perception.
It looked so promising. I got an 8.
16.
16 and 8. Jared, the first thing you notice throughout the water, it's calm, it's dark. Honestly, this has probably been the first like real adventure that you've been on, and this is not very comfortable as you try to, settle in to watch as everything goes on. You look out and you're not really able to see much. Just the water rippling, slow, again, kind of peaceful for kind of the hell that you've been through in the last, few weeks, few months. Tydox, you begin to see the stars. This is beautiful. One of the most beautiful things that you've seen in a while. Your home was very outdoors, very away from many things. These stars look different over in the southern side. You get to see a lot more constellations and other things that, as you stare up into the abyss, you remember that this place has two moons. Player, you remembers that there's two moons. One of the moons is bright. Um, it's almost as if it's a full moon, um, but it's not uncommon. You see them pretty often, but what is strange is the red hue that has begun to get around Verkna, which is the larger of the moons. Um, you see that there's a weird red hue um, around it.
It's the hue.
Okay, which is strange, and it's nothing you've ever seen before in your time here. Raven, you see all the same things, but the biggest thing that stands out to you is, for a second, you hear, in the calming of water and thing, it's almost as if something begins to speak to you, to call your name. You look down at your drink, you say, man, have I been drinking too much of this? But you hear a woman's voice. It's distant, but definitely something that strikes your, I would say, like, hits you in the back. You're like, we're the only ones here, and there's no ladies on board outside of Susan, who's an owl person, and
She's a lady.
by technicality, she is a lady.
You will treat her as such.
Actually, all the bird people in this world are ladies, technically. So,
Oh boy.
Well, how do they reproduce?
Ah.
Parthenogenesis. That's how they do it.
um,
All maternal DNA. You're welcome. I solved it
I
for
don't,
you.
I don't know how birds reproduce, but these all birds are ladies, and they all reproduce in a weird way.
I just told you Parthenogenesis.
Probably.
Raven's just kind of swirling his glass around, looking at it, and it's like, well, boys, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it the whole shift with you. This, I'm already hearing voices, so I think this wine has a little bit stronger than I thought it was.
Well, it's something about this night just seems a bit off. Don't you think?
You mean it's a perfect night? I'm almost about to just fall asleep.
Well, since we're on the watch, that's not something that you really should do. But please refrain.
Oh, now, what could happen on such a pleasant ocean voyage?
Can I direct your attention up to Verkna, the big moon up there?
I
No,
mean, looks like a moon.
What about it?
it does. Are any of you colorblind, perchance?
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of bloodshot in my eyes right now, so. But
That's funny.
No,
So, I have never really noticed the moon to be a red hue before, but that and the stillness of this night kind of have me on edge a little bit.
I mean, I pretty much work most nights in a bar, so I rarely see the moon. So,
I'm usually in the workshop.
can't say I've seen it red before.
We don't usually, we see the moon, but we don't really look at the night sky much. There's not a lot of stars in the city.
He's like, I don't go outside.
Another detail that is important: the Elysium is known for like their symbol being like a sun in stars, like a large sun with different basically 9 points on it, on the radial, with stars around it. Mycelium is known for like the moon and stars, and so their symbol is more about like a crescent moon with a star in the middle of it. So, and on the crescent moon, it is a red hue as well.
Well, I guess we should, just be mindful. Um, I I'm gonna keep tinkering, but I'll be here. Wanna make sure I can get these things done before our next encounter, whoever that may be, whether it's the pirates or the slavers.
Well, I'll
He just goes back to.
keep an eye out as long as I'm awake.
So, as you guys go towards the various things that you do to keep yourself entertained through the watch, as you pay attention or kind of listen, continue to hear the tinkering and the buzzes, the whirs as Tydox is tinkering in a otherwise calming night. 2 hours go by, and it is time to switch watches. Everyone but Raven can actually go to bed. Raven, you can go to bed too, but if you'd like to stay up with Show, you only need 4 hours of sleep as an elf, so everyone else needs 6. So you have the option to stay up for a second watch, or to go to bed and hunt.
Raven is trying to slow down on his drinking and sober up a bit so that he doesn't just pass out, so he will stay up.
Okay. Tydox and Jared, you guys can sleep. How do you guys wake up Show, actually? It's probably the...
I think I would ask if Raven is. Raven, if you are willing to stay up, you might go get Show, and I'll finish wrapping this up here. And Jared, I think he already walked over to where he's gonna be sleeping.
Yeah,
He's made like a little bed.
out of just linen that he's kept in his backpack, and
I was thinking about, since I'm getting a long rest anyways, I could just summon food and sleep on like bread.
okay, that works even better. I love
This
it.
man makes a giant bed of Jello, and he's just like, yes.
Yeah.
Raven is-
Instead of food to eat, you guys look over at Jared, and he's gathered a bunch of food to lay on. As a just meaningless resource that, you guys feel your stomachs growl a little bit, and you look over at Jared, who's just on top of bread that looks perfectly eatable outside of being a little bit smashed.
Raven is gonna walk by Jared and just rip a chunk of bread off of his bed as he goes by. Takes a bite, walks over to Show, and just like pushes him on the shoulder with his boot. It's like, "Hey Cap, it's your turn for watch. Time to get up."
I think Show's like, okay. And he gets up, and I think he also looks at Jared, and he's just like, okay. And then he also would like to to go take off a chunk of bread and eat some, because I think all of a sudden he realizes, like, I'm starving.
Yeah. You guys were offered food
Yeah.
at the at Mycelium, and you guys didn't eat it. So now it's like, oh well, this is the first real food that we've had, and then Jared's like, I'm gonna sleep on this.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
You've heard of a bread basket? This is a bread bed.
It's
Hey,
the advanced form.
Cap, you need any wine to go with that?
I guess it's my watch, so I shouldn't be imbibing. But thanks, Raven.
All right, 2 for me then.
Get at it.
I just pour it back into my glass.
I think Sho kind of gets up and he's like checking on Morrow and Squirt, making sure that Morrow's sleeping. And then I think he kind of like turns to Tydox and he's just like, "Hey, go to bed. I know you're just gonna be sneaking up all night trying to do whatever stuff, but you need to sleep."
Aye, Captain. I'll show you when it's done. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can show me after you sleep. Yeah. So. And then Sho just kind of starts hanging out. He's kind of like half sleepy, but he feels relatively like calm for like because they're out on like the open, so he's not feeling like very like claustrophobic like he normally would be like on a ship, you know. So he's kind of just vibing. I think he is kind of like when you finally do get to relax, you know, and you're like exhausted. So I think he's just like trying his best to stay awake.
Especially taking the middle shift too.
It's awful. So I think at first he like goes to try to like get his book out, and he's like, "Okay, I should try to read my dragon book." And then I think he like pulls it out, literally like looks at the pages, and he's just like, "Absolutely not."
Pull it up. One, it is just so dark outside, the middle of the night. You have no light.
Like, no.
Sho, who's very like has barely started to read in general. You know, it would be a challenge to read in light, and night reading, you're like, nah.
No, and then he's just like, and closes that, puts it back in his bag. Or in Tydox's bag of holding, probably. I think is whatever it was in. And then he's like, Raven, were you gonna go to bed or are you staying up?
I don't need as much sleep nowadays, so I could stay up with you for a little bit.
Sounds good. I need to wake up here a little bit. I just can't believe that those people that King Viking wasn't the one who set us up. And he kind of like starts rubbing his eyes, and he's just like, we're just kind of back to square one again. Like, I just don't know who this could be.
I mean, I've kind of had a hunch for a while that we were being set up by the people responsible for all this. But can't prove
if
anything.
If it's not Mycelium, and it's not the dwarves, we're kind of in a interesting predicament. So, kind of like starting from the beginning all over again. But I guess at least we know it's not them. But
I have a strange feeling. Maybe the whole thing was a setup from the beginning. Maybe the king's not even dead. Maybe they faked that to get us to do their dirty work.
I mean, do they have to do that to make us get our dirty work? I was always as good as much as had to get ordered around wherever I want to. I guess you weren't. But Urt would have been entrapped. Jared was entrapped.
Me and Urt, both have connections, or at least family connections to the military, so they'd probably need a good reason to string us both up.
Yeah, that's true.
Not sure about Ramin, rest in peace.
Yeah, Ramin, poor boy, I think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I think with the mention of Ramin, I think Sho takes Raven's cup of wine, and he takes like a glug back, and then he gives it back to him. And he's just like,
Do you guys still have his bones in the bag of holding?
They're in the bag of holding still.
We do.
I remember that. I just wanted to know if you guys remembered that.
Yeah, we have a list of everything.
Have the bones, have his eye.
We have his bow as well, or his
We
yeah,
do.
his slingshot, and
He had a slingshot and the
the drider
Drider
bow.
bow.
the Drider bow. Yep,
Long bow,
Drider longbow. Yes, sure.
the size of his body.
I mean, I'm a big believer in coincidences not being too much of a factor. I think it's either close to the chest or there's someone behind the strings or behind the scenes pulling the strings for all these parties at play.
Yeah. But just always just, the puppets at the end, regardless of who's holding the strings, I guess. Minions to the end.
Minions have survived a couple encounters with royalty that we shouldn't have.
Yeah. We've done okay by the skin of our teeth, I think, but the thought of Raymond dying, I think, just hits close to the chest. We were like two sides of the same coin, I think, him and I. He was born same beginnings as me. We had a lot of siblings. Our parents were farmers. And I think about how easy it would have been for him to not have been dragged into this mess, I guess. Same with you though too, Raven. I know your daddy he's a general and all that, but
I mean, it's, coming from a known family or well-off family, it's fun and all at times, but it's been nice to get to go off and do something on my own, make a name for myself.
yeah. Well, I think you're doing well for what has been asked of you. I think it's hard when I've been told to do whatever I've needed to do forever, right? I've always had somebody's boot on my neck. And so you could have really, I think, let this hit you hard. Like I've let this hit me hard, but you are being very resilient, so I'm very impressed with how well you're handling it.
Yeah, I think a little bit of it is just to maybe to prove to my dad that I could have done well in the military. That didn't have to be my sister, although I mean she holds her own pretty well. So
Yeah.
maybe
But-
just a little bit of proving myself.
But after we've gone to Andario, I mean, I guess maybe that place was just so strange. I guess if you really are one of the only elf men left, maybe he was right to keep you protected. I don't know. Very strange, all that was.
I mean, it came with some nice benefits.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a whirlwind. We've gone through a lot in this past, I don't know, 2 weeks even. It's just been crazy. And then Sho looks at Moro and he's just like, how long have we even had you, Moro? Like 3 days? Like
Yeah, you look over at the side of Moro, and Moro, when you first went to go look at it, he's kind of nipping at, he's like resting on top of Squirt's head. So it's like Squirt's head is just there, and then Moro's like on top. And so you'd see him like trying to play with Squirt as you guys have like been floating out to sea. Now looks like he's like, you like go to talk to him, and he's just like, like a nice little dog, just like rolled up into a little, ball. And so he's like super tight in there. So he's like passed out asleep as you look over at him.
good, he needs to rest.
I think the
But
big thing for me though is just being cooped up working at the bar, other than my boss who great chap. the only friends I had were the patrons, and that was mostly because I had to be friends with them to get money. Um, so it's nice hanging with y'all and getting to make, you know, some real friends. If we ever make it through this mess, be nice for that to continue.
There's nothing quite like a brother in arms. It's just they always stay with you. It's a bit different. You know that we've been through something together. And show I think his now is like starting to perk up. He's like awake. And he starts, I think, looking at everybody and then looking at Tydox, making sure Tydox is actually sleeping.
Shit.
Is Tydox actually sleeping?
How? Because they're only in the second shift, right?
Yeah.
So I would be sleeping for roughly 2 hours. Yeah, I'm still sleeping.
If you want a long rest, you are still sleeping.
If you want a long rest, you need 6 hours. And I texted him this, so he knows.
It's like the sheets of
If he
is
does
it a
not
kid of a
want a
Game Boy?
long rest, yeah,
like the lights are on under those sheets.
it has to be us.
That's what I like.
six hours.
You just see like little like sparks of light coming out, like you're like, what is that?
Show, go ahead and roll me a perception, and again, Raven, you can roll me a perception with advantage.
I got a 19 minus 2, 17.
18.
Okay, so both are going to get the same thing. So you guys, Show, as you kind of look around, you see first you see all of your friends here, just sleeping. Friends is, I know, still kind of hard for you to really put into words that these guys are your companions and brother in arms. You guys have been through a lot, but you know what you've been through, and as you look at them, you almost have a new sense of like, I'm these guys' leader. I'm in charge now. I'm the one that puts these into, action, and as the common water has continued to again feel peace in this very dangerous place. You don't really feel or notice anything besides these people. As you look over to Susan, she is asleep, but is kind of awkwardly hunched over, as a bird trying to sleep on a thing. With normally she's like upside down, or in way better conditions for her. You just continue to recognize all the things that have kind of happened throughout. As you've saved this person, you've saved, these things, these people, you've brought them here. As you look up, you still see the beautiful stars, and you watch as one star skids across the sky. In normal cultures, this is a good sign, something that even for a brief second brings hope to most people. However you want to react to it is up to you. Raven, again, you're kind of staring into Show and everything that's been going on, and all that has happened to you as well. The lingering of that voice still seems apparent. You stopped listening because Show is quite a bit louder than Tydox and Jared as they weren't talking. But as things kind of settle down, that voice still feels as it's calling out to you. You can't quite hear exactly what she's saying, but you can't help but to believe that it's beautiful and calming, sweet. Almost feels like the air around you is just a little bit better because of it.
By the way, Shell, have you, is she able to notice that the moon's red, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you notice that this shooting star and the moon has a red hue to it.
Tydox pointed out he's never seen a red moon before. None of us have. Is that something you've ever seen before?
I think Show takes a gander up. And I think he's like, no, I'm not too familiar. I've had some time out on ships, but usually in the coral high tides. They had some saying like, like red skies at night is sailors' delight and things like that. But I think this might be a little bit late for that.
Yeah. Also, you hear any voices or anything? Because I've been sobering up for a bit, and I'm still hearing something.
Oh no. You hearing women's voices?
It kind of sounds like it. I mean, it's kind of
Oh.
peaceful.
Well, maybe put some cotton in your ears. Did the others hear the women's voices?
I mean, I just told them that I was hearing voices from drinking, but
Oh, we are out in the water, Well, I've heard things about some women out in the ocean.
I bet.
Just maybe you need to head off to sleep then.
Aye, Captain. If that's a, do we even have any cotton around here? I'm just like looking.
The
at my
bread
pockets.
will work, I think.
I was gonna say
Grabs more
Jared's pillow.
Not a terrible idea. Raven's gonna walk over there and just rip off a couple more pieces.
Fluffy muffin. He's like, phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll be like, you sure you good, Cap?
I'm good. I'm sure it's almost time to wake up.
See you in the morning.
Yeah. Show, before you go to bed, or go to wake up Ert, go ahead and roll another perception.
A 6.
A 6. Perfect. You don't notice anything. So,
Classic Show.
you feel, though, a couple hours. So, we'll say that Raven had gone, kind of midway through the second watch, and then you had stayed up the last hour or so. It gets to a point your eyes honestly begin to get even heavier. You get perked up, but especially now being in the quiet, calming sea air, your eyes start to wane. You stayed up before, and I think with this tiredness feels different. I mean, again, you have way more responsibility now. Your decisions mean more now. The weight of this group depends on their captain. And I think all these things go through your head.
Yeah. I think if Show is getting tired, he would kind of climb down towards Squirt's neck and just stick his head in the water. So that might be dangerous with sirens afoot, but we'll see.
Sirens. Who said anything about sirens?
Sirens!
Allegedly.
As you go, to put your head in the water, you see someone staring back at you. A beautiful, wonderful, delightful, probably the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your existence. But for whatever reason, you can't seem to like pick up. Am I tired? And this is why I'm seeing this person. I mean, Raven did say something about voices, but like, there's no way that there's like sirens here. Like, it'd be kind of weird, you know. But as you look into the water, you see someone else is staring back at you, smiling.
Shells just like looks at her, looks up, looks back down, and he's like, "Mother," and then he gets, I think, back up, and I don't think he would be.
Before you're able to get back up,
Mhm.
go ahead and roll me a charisma saving throw.
Natural 20.
You do not fall for her gaze, and you are able to elude her.
Shell gets up, and he's like, "Oh my god." And then I think he gets up and he makes his way over to Ert, and he shakes him, and he's like, "Captain, Ert, Ert, Is he dead? Am I frozen?
You're. I think he's.
I think he's hard of
Susan?
hearing.
I think he's
Actually,
actually.
I was like,
Yeah.
These guys are heads up. This is no,
Copy
this is
4K.
no way. There's no way that he has fallen asleep
I think he's frozen.
in real time.
uh,
Someone call him in real life.
how would you sleep like this? I feel like this is a
If
lot
you don't get
rough.
up now, your character's gonna die. And
I can't even see his eyes. Oh,
Oh,
there he's
oh.
moving.
No.
He's moving. Oh, he's
And
sleeping.
you fell
He's
asleep.
waking up.
You
He's waking up.
cocksucker.
oh, there you go.
Oh my god. Wait.
He did fall asleep.
What? I was awake this whole time.
Oh, you were not, dude. I don't want to respond.
He failed his charisma check. Siren got him. He gone.
That's the most realistic. Shell in a rage is like, this is why you're not the fucking captain anymore. Like, and then
Straight up
he turns
uses
around.
a resource. Rage.
Oh, that was some
Yeah.
restful sleep. I'm just role playing.
I'm a method actor.
And so Captain Ert stretches a nice long stretch. Decides, thanks for waking me. And he says to get up and slumber and over towards the head of.
Hey,
We're so
Hey.
screwed.
why don't you sit back down here for a second so you can talk to me?
Shit.
So
Well, it's okay. I get it. You're in a restful, deep sleep. We got a fucking problem here. Now,
what's that?
what's that?
What's the problem?
Raven was hearing voices. And guess what? I went down and looked in the water. There's women in the water. Guess what that means?
Oh, sirens.
Yeah. Now, you're gonna, you know, they already tried to put a smell on me. So, let's, be perked up and awake here. And, I don't know if we should just let these guys sleep or probably need to wake everybody up. Tydock, are you awake already?
Shit.
At this point, if you wake anybody else up, Ert will be the only one that gets a long rest. He's the only one that-
I have bread in my ear. You can't wake me up.
Raven's
He's a
gone.
heavy sleeper.
So
Shell's just making sure that Tydox is asleep still.
you can't tell if he's awake or not.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave him there. You and me, I'm gonna stay up. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna get a long rest. I hope you are well rested, though, boy, because we might be in some hurt here coming up soon. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk till the sun comes up. You understand me? Do you understand me?
I did say understood.
You did not. Nothing came
did-
through.
You want to play some dragon chess?
You think I know how to play chess?
I'll teach you. Don't worry about it, kid.
Kid. Wow.
All right.
And well, you hear a faint little.
I fucking knew it!
Just
So
the loudest like robotic noise. But it is. Just keep in mind the scene is so quiet. It's so full of nature, and then all of a sudden it's like woo woo woo, just like and then it's like you look over at Tydox and you see like full on light, like a light show, like it's like an RGB light show going on, like.
And
Yeah.
like it's for a very like short amount of time because Tydox is a light sleeper anyway, and he wakes up immediately to these alarms. And he like wakes up, and he's not facing you guys. He pops it, and he puts his glasses on and stuff, and he's like getting ready, and he's looking around. He's like, "Oh, okay, all right." And it's like that moment in the fucking meme where the kid runs into the little kid runs into the room and then immediately goes, "Oh!" turns around.
Both his parents are just
But
staring at him like, what are you doing?
And he's like, "Oh,
What are you doing, man?
Mom's still awake." Dad's in the
Dancing in the moonlight.
Captain. There was a thing that I didn't. It was a bug. It was a bug. Not a feature.
A bug. Interesting.
It was supposed to go off after your shift, but I see you.
Yeah, you tried to time that pretty well, didn't you?
Hey, you. Yes.
you could
Um,
have gone away with it too. We didn't have an issue. Are you hearing voices?
Am I hearing voices? It takes a minute to listen.
All of you guys roll a perception.
Everyone awake?
Everyone,
Oh my
one,
god, I
two.
got a natural 20 again.
Sheesh.
Oh, 13. I think I got a 16 again because I have a +3.
You said perception?
Mhm.
Yeah, 16 for Tydox.
I got 6 total.
Ert is not here.
Because Ert was full sleep,
Uh,
full dragon coma.
Ert's still trying to figure out if he's awake or not. To be honest, is this reality?
Is this real life?
Am I alive or what is happening?
You were sleeping so good that you had half of us convinced that your thing
Yeah,
froze.
just frozen. I don't even think we edit it. I think we just leave it.
I was like, what?
It's good.
With a natural 20. What was yours, Tydox? Sorry.
16.
16. You do hear the voices. And it's not just one voice for you, it's multiple voices.
Okay.
And they're beautiful. It's lovely.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling.
Show, they are calling out to you. As you're like getting in a rage and you're getting angry at all these things, you hear that these sirens are calling for help. You've been the first person to really exceed in You hear these voices are
for
crying
help?
out for help. Like they're trying to get your attention to help them.
Um. Tadox. Since you
Captain?
already set an alarm to be awake, I don't feel bad about interrupting your long rest here. So, tell me what you know about sirens. I only know what I've heard from the other people on boats. And unfortunately, the people that encounter sirens don't really have a healthy track record.
Oh, nice. Tedx rolled a 26 for history to see what we know about sirens
Did I ask you to
in this
roll a
world.
history?
I know. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
Get him! Get him!
It's actually
correct.
a nature check
Oh, okay.
because they are a creature. So you can take whatever you rolled on the die and then add it to whatever.
Oh, okay. So instead of an 11, I'll just add a 5. So what do we at?
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
So, sorry, history would make more sense for like people groups. Sirens are technically considered a monstrosity or a creature, so therefore nature fits a little bit better.
Sure.
Within
I knew there
nature-
was a roll involved, so I rolled.
Yeah. Next time, again, don't get so eager and wait for me.
No, you're right. You're right.
The nature check with the dirty 20 is still pretty good. Sirens are typically a pretty rare species of creature. They are something that you would have like heard about, or you're not very familiar, especially being up in the mountains. They're definitely not something there, but you've heard stories of like women lost at sea who have taken men, and the things that they've done to men are, you know, horrible, and often they'll lure men with their voices, their songs, things that their beauty, typically by seeing them, they're often able to just do the will, like whatever will they want, just from their looks. Um, but they typically will when they are trying to lure you, will try to pick at your egos or insecurities. Um, they're not necessarily known for being like evil, but they are necessarily human, so they're not necessarily good either, if that makes sense. And again, good or evil as in celestial or abyssal, not morally, but typically their, I guess, morals are ambiguous. You do remember that they live within a community, like a city. And since you did roll history, but this is a nature check, your history would tell you that there was a lost city at some point, filled with women, um, that had sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
We are going down.
Could have installed that angler antenna.
Dang it.
You're welcome.
Didn't have the time.
You're welcome.
So I think, yeah, Tidux would relay a lot of that information. But yeah, I believe that they aren't necessarily morally good or evil. They're just need to survive in their own way. They do lure a lot of mainly male seagoers into their clutches with the song that kind of speaks to the ego, I think, is what I remember. What are you hearing from them?
They're asking for help. That could very well be you know, seeking the male ego of, you know, damsel in distress. But
Yeah,
I'm also
accurate.
pretty pissed off now. So, maybe I'll go into a rage.
I do seem to remember that around this area there was once rumors of a city that was inhabited by all females. Do you think it's a true siren, or do you think maybe somehow that city is real?
I don't know. I've never. All I know is what the guys on the ship say. You know, beware the singing and beware the ladies. Usually they're sitting on rocks, though. I don't know, but that's all I know.
Is it still nighttime?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, these guys are having their deep discussion about sirens and Captain Nerd obviously not hearing
Oh.
anything.
Yeah, yeah, with the
I
six.
think I think Captain Nerd's probably just playing with his swords. Because they're both Moonlight Great Swords and it looks cool. So he's got his Moonlight Great Sword and he's shining it up on, since it's slightly translucent, against the red moon to see if it does anything.
What well, yeah, okay. Do that first.
Go
Whatever the
ahead,
fuck
go-
that means.
go ahead and roll me just a straight luck check.
Oh, these are my favorite. These are my favorite. Okay.
There's no way.
I got 11.
Oh, nothing happens.
Was that close? Oh, okay.
No, no, you weren't.
What was the number?
It was a 3.
Damn.
Yeah, he hits it. I'll let her know something happens. But anything other than a
Don't-
3 is not happening. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can't just keep getting away with it. All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right? There's
You can't keep
there's
getting
no
away
way.
with this.
It was bound to fail at least once. So
Yeah.
Alright, next
Thank
time it's mine.
goodness.
Time to pull out the Drider longsword.
Yeah. What does Tydox like hear from them? He got a 16. So not as good as
can't
show,
hear.
but
You
it's
can't
just like a
hear.
song.
it's just music to your ears that
Music.
feels
Okay.
like soft and warm
Supple.
and welcoming. Very supple. Like it feels very inviting to whatever they want. Show's the only person who's been able to hear exactly what they're looking for. Raven also was able to hear their voices because he rolled pretty high. He rolled a 20 as well, so he was able to hear, but he didn't hear. They're far enough away that he couldn't hear them clear. Now it feels like they're right on top of you guys.
A question.
Mhm.
So I have animal friendship. Would they be considered animals or no?
Technically, animal friendship is for beasts.
Beasts, and
versus
they're not.
monstrosity. But I'll double check and see if monstrosities count for beasts, but I don't think so.
Are sirens the same as like in D&D? The same as like what most of us know?
Mm-hmm.
Captain, if you were hearing voices and want to try to communicate, I could still. Maddie, should I roll some hit die for a short rest? Because that's only an hour, right? And I was sleeping for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Because I still have some of these stones. I could make them like radiate light. Maybe we could see far down there. Or if you wanted to try to communicate, since you say they're asking for help, I have 2 that maybe we could record a message.
We can always revisit the anglerfish idea.
Play with your swords.
Don't mind if I do. Captain Merch's playing with the swords.
Fucking guy.
I'll do it again.
Tadok, she's like right over there. Like I think we could just go talk to her if we really wanted to. I just need to jump down onto his neck.
Oh.
Scorch neck. But I'm also thinking, like, I think I got away. So I'm not sure if I should go back down. Or, like, what if they actually are in need of help? Actually, hey, what's the blinky sword doing?
Ooh.
Do I have the blinky sword?
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it's on the Drider, isn't it? Or is it some random? I forget which one I put it on.
No,
It
it's
should be
it's
on
the.
the Drider.
The
isn't
Drider?
it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Try the last
Yeah.
I'll
one.
put all the Drider longsword as a Blinkins.
He's got two fucking great, amazing weapons, and he's like, "Do I have that?" It's like, yeah, man, come on.
Welcome to my Elden Ring Night Rain when he has them available. Fucking
He's
Elden Ring.
like,
I haven't gotten anything good.
Everything good.
I had
Sorry.
Moonrail and Blood Rivers.
Rivers of Blood.
Yeah, that one.
Blood Rivers. Psychic damage. Psychic damage.
You know, hold it up, and it does pulse, but faintly, very like as you're looking at it, it's like, you know, did I actually see it pulse, or did I, you know, one of those like, is this my mind playing tricks on me, or did it actually pulse?
Can I stare at it to see? Just stare at it longingly.
Yeah, and you get that same vibe. It does pulse, but it's so faint and so little that it's like we may be in the right, like in an area, but it's just so like it's probably close, but who knows? That if I would think that if you would have it, you would think that it's probably not going to be under the water if if it's here.
Is it like cell phone reception? Can I hold it down, hold it up, hold it left, hold it right, see if it kind of glows any differently?
Sure.
Or camera's gonna do that. Camera's gonna hold it under the water just to see if it's done anything.
There's nothing under the water, but as
Camera.
you're spinning it around, as you go south, you do feel it pulse just a little less faint. It still feels very far, but you feel like the south could
And that was like south, not like down, right?
south.
Okay. Yeah. This one. Double check.
Well, I was holding it all over the place, Joe, and it looks like the only place it looks like it might be getting anywhere is, according to my little navigation set, south of here, which is is that the Cutthroat, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it might be south towards the Cutthroat Isles. That's the only chance I can see this thing. The only spot I was able to get this thing to glow consistently-ish.
Okay.
It's pronounced ochre.
Show ignores it. Ignores the comment. And Show goes back to Tydox and he's like Show goes into a rage and he goes to talk to the siren.
How far away is said siren?
Sure.
Like
I mean,
if we're on the shell, not the neck.
on the shell, you can't really see anything. The water's so dark
It's
and murky.
okay because
That'd be-
they're in the water still. Right.
They're under the water, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be really difficult to like try to see them.
Okay. Cause
Okay.
okay, all right. Yeah.
I'm gonna check one more thing.
Captain, do you want to try to at least like take a precaution and tie this rope around you or something? Or...
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Tie the rope. Cast rage. You go down. You see the lady. She looks as though she's beckoning you towards her. Show, go ahead and roll me another charisma saving throw.
natural 20 for a third time.
No way!
I've used up all my natural 20s forever. I think.
That's so crazy.
I swear I'm like throwing these hard.
And
I
it's-
throw them against my keyboard.
I love
And
it.
didn't your character
I'm
just
a-
not immune
What?
to charm?
Yeah, I don't know what their thing is exactly though, but I'm level 6 rage. I don't think I have to relook at it.
That is what I just looked up to see if it would happen, but if I'm wrong, then it does matter because you got a nat 20. So if you are immune to charms or frighten, it is a charm. So on it. So if you are Raven, for example, is immune to charms for being an elf, so he can't be charmed.
Nice.
But I did not see that on the Raven, but it could be a fact.
Let me go. Beginning at 6th level, you can't be charmed or frightened while raging. If you are charmed or frightened when you enter your range, the effect is suspended for the duration of the rage.
Nice. Okay, cool. I saw Danger Sense too, and that was the other one that I was looking at, which I thought you had gotten at 6, but Mindless Rage is 6.
Yeah.
Nice, cool. Either way, you got a nat 20, so you wasted the nat 20 on something that you couldn't be charmed or raged on. So I'll let you
No
pocket
worries.
the nat 20 to save at one instance. Okay.
I feel like we can just let it go because I feel like this is weird that I got something and I feel cursed now. So we'll
Okay.
just pretend that didn't happen.
Cool. So, either way, you look down, you see that she has been beckoning you towards her, but because of your rage, you're so angry and filled with anger that you can't really tell what she wants, but you just see that she keeps beckoning you towards you, and I think it kind of pisses you off a little bit more that she's not being direct with what she wants.
Mhm.
Like, why can't she just? Yeah, that's what I did. I just have to make a whole. We're gonna go on a whole trail about it, but yeah, like just tell me what you want to eat, okay? Just
What do you want?
what do you want, okay? Just if only they could communicate a little bit better.
Show's like, do you actually need help, or are you trying to trick me right now?
She nods her head. Yes, they need help. Like, come, just a few more feet.
No, I'm gonna stay here. I speak common. I'm pretty sure you speak common too. So you tell me what you need help with. I'm staying right here though.
She says she can't like she gestures to the water and says that her it's like basically mentioning voices that you wouldn't be able to hear her voice unless she were to come up, but you have to come down.
No. No. Good day, lady. And the show gives her a little salute, and he climbs back up and is like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's trying to drown me. But and
I might have a solution. Tedux is in the armor now, and I go to the neck. Can I see the same?
Does your armor have lights on it? I don't remember if we established that if it had like a little flashlight or not on it.
I think we've done that before, but
I think we have
because
two.
as a well, don't we all have night vision except for show? Isn't that part of the
Dark
Jared
vision.
might not.
Yes.
Dark-
However,
'cause I think that's how we flavored it last time. But
I don't have dark vision.
You could wake
The
me up and
water
put lights on, but then none of us would have a long rest.
yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it. It was lights. I think it was like in the visor that you can see in kind of like a night vision, but I don't remember. If you don't want it to work, it's totally fine.
Well, it's magical darkness is the water, so even if you have dark vision, so you
Ooh.
wouldn't be able to see clearly.
I
through.
did get a long rest though. Just saying.
You did get a long rest, sir. You did. You can actually say yes. You got a long rest. Everyone else has not.
Not yet. We didn't wake anybody else up.
You go to look over, and you're on the neck of. And you look, and you see the most beautiful person you've ever seen in your entire life. Everything about her feels welcoming, inviting. You have never laid eyes on anybody that has been more beautiful.
Also, we would have tied the ropes. Excuse me. The rope is tied to each other, not just holding rope. It was just for reasons in case I fucking fail. But
Go ahead and roll me a charisma saving throw, baby.
baby. I don't even know what I have for
Unless
charisma. I don't think it's
you're-
very high.
Unless you're somehow immune to being charmed. Then
No,
don't.
I'm definitely not. Oh shit. And
Tydax, what are you doing? What were you doing, Tydax?
I had
He
an
wants-
idea, but I forgot I had to pass a charisma save before I could interact with the fucking siren. So that was
What was your idea?
that was an
Tell me.
oversight.
I have a high
Yeah.
charisma.
I think
It's
it's
too
too
late.
late now.
Yeah.
Could've participated in our D&D session earlier.
I was trying. I got distracted.
What did it?
Tadok says, "Oh, I could go talk to her." Walks over, immediately gets. What did you roll? Sorry.
10.
Immediately gets charmed, and your body, without you even feeling it, gets pulled into the water. Everything in your nature that would have thought that I probably shouldn't do this gets yanked into the water, and because you're in your suit, you're significantly heavier. And show, give me a. You can do this with advantage because you're raged. Give me like a dex save or a strength save, depending on how you want to try to stop whatever's happening. And you can roll both of them with advantage either way.
Natural 20 again, boys.
What was it now?
Guys, you got
One
one out
was
of
a
them.
7. Another one was a 7. So, good thing it was advantage.
Strength or dexterity.
I think it would be just like a straight strength check. I think like as soon as Tydox would have started getting yanked, Show would have gone like straight for the rope and would have started like a tug of war.
So it actually would be the opposite. You would be like kind of as you're climbing up, or he's coming down, and you would have felt
Uh-huh.
it, like tug you
Oh,
back.
he's like full. If he's like falling
He's
down.
falling. He's
He's
gone.
then it would have been more than like Show
Like-
would have tried to jump and like hold, like pull him, like
Yeah.
hit him back into it. Then if he's falling down,
So it
if that
would have
makes sense.
essentially imagine the rope is on your back, and this is how I've seen it, and you can correct me if this is not how you're seeing it. I would imagine you were coming up Squirt,
Uh-huh.
and then Tydox was coming down, and immediately when Tydox comes down, he gets charmed and then falls into the water until your back almost like pulls. So if you were gonna roll a dex, it would have been to like be on your feet, and then because it's a strength, it's almost like you're grabbing the back of like
Okay.
or Squirt's shell.
Okay.
And it's you holding on to Squirt with your dear life so that you're not also, because you're getting yanked back.
Uh-huh.
basically,
Okay.
because he falls at such a velocity in this 300-pound suit that he's wearing that
Mhm.
is titanium alloy, and he's like, yeah, this would be a good idea to get in the water. So, keep in mind, he did this to himself. So
I 100% did not think that I would have to do this first. Because
Yeah.
that was there was a different plan.
So as you get yanked back, immediately you realize that Tydox is like gone into the water, and it is a struggle. to hold onto Squirt. Squirt is also pissed at whatever is happening, because you know it's like teeter tottering basically. Imagine like an anchor getting dropped that should not have been dropped, and is not catching on to anything. So, um, Tydox, you get yanked to the ground basically into the water, and you begin to sink at rapid pace. And you hit a snag. Um, and thankfully, the rope is still there. So as you look back, you hear the rope begin to snap. It hasn't fully snapped, but you start to hear, like when it's taut, super tight, and then it's just like whatever force is yanking him down, plus like the weight of the ocean that's around him. And as you look back, you see this taut this rope. You look at Tydox in the water as he begins to get surrounded by baby sirens, essentially. I don't know if you remember Harry Potter, those like disgusting little things in the Goblet of Fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, you see them begin to start swarming Tydox at a rapid pace that I may or may not be able to pull this man out, and the rope is moments from breaking.
Um,
Oh, because I can see this. I'm awake, right? How far away am I?
You're slinging your swords around in the middle of Squirt, so
It's true.
you definitely feel the boat. I think everybody begins to feel the boat, or not the boat, but Squirt get yanked to the side a little bit. It's not a very pleasant feeling. But Show, you get exactly one action to try to figure out what you want to do. One action before the rope breaks. I'll say that.
before the rope breaks. Um. Mm,
I've set up this place to be a horrible monstrosity of a place, so just so you know. You watched as
So
she.
Tydox is free falling, or he's in the water.
He is free. He's in the water, like fully, like you can barely see. But
He's
you just
in.
see a bunch of little like things, like hundreds of them, begin to start to swarm him, like piranhas at a free fest right here.
Shell would like to use. How much does Tyrox weigh?
Tell me how much your suit weighs. Your suit is at least 300 pounds. I remember us talking about that.
You just said it again. But I mean, the in game, the arcane armor weighs 65 pounds, but I feel like it's a big mech suit, so not like armor.
Tydox look before this encounter. Were you I know you didn't long rest, but how hurting were you?
I had hit dice. So
You had-
I used a short rest.
Okay,
I'm
but
fine.
what's your health at? But you're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Shell would like to.
I mean, unless you obliterate me with some real big shit, but
I'm
fuck it.
fucking
Let's
right.
go
when
for
I
it.
thought you
Let's
guys-
do it. Let's see. Let's roll them.
Shell would like to Misty step below him into the water.
Okay.
Launch drop near at the middle of Tydox's chest, so hopefully he explodes and goes up out of the water.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Nah.
That's a super cool idea. Just so that you know, that's it. It's cool. I don't know if it would work exactly as you would anticipate that to work, but is that what you do? Okay. It is a sick move. I will tell you it's sick.
I'm gonna go for it because even if it doesn't quite work, it's hopefully maybe it'll still explode and damage some of these baby sirens off of him.
Okay. Tydox, what's your armor class?
Isn't it like 18 with the armor?
No. Let me see. Make sure we're doing this right. Yeah.
So go ahead and roll
Right
before
now
you
it's 20. Do you want me to tell you right now?
before you
23.
say. Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
So go ahead and roll the to hit.
And in the Great Equalizer, it's a natural 1, but I get +9.
Okay. So. Oh,
He did say that you could pour it in a 20 from whenever you wanted.
And roll 4 nat 20s. It's c'est la vie.
mhm.
It's, also, joie de vivre. That's just how life works,
Is
You-
that what?
Blink down below him, and launch this.
Drop near.
You drop near, yeah. You fully miss.
Yes.
Fully miss everything. You actually hit one of the babies, but the explosion. Go ahead and roll damage because you would have done damage, and then.
I need a D6 and a D8.
Okay, and then after you roll those, roll a d4.
So 26 damage and then roll a D4. It's a 1.
Okay.
have a
What were you gonna
question.
say, Tedox? What's your
It's,
question?
so I'm under the charmed condition, right?
Mhm.
So doesn't that have to, when the character takes damage, is that broken?
Let me look. I am not entirely sure, to be honest.
Yeah. Say.
It does not end. Sorry, but
Okay.
that's a good question. That's good.
Yes.
What does happen though? You rolled how much damage?
26. Was it 26?
Okay. So Tedox, you take half of that. As the explosion explodes in this area and creates a little brief explosion, brief little area for all of you guys. You guys are blown, unfortunately, 10 feet down. And now, on top of you is Tydox, who is sinking at a rapid pace. And he's kind of jolted a little bit as things are going down. And you guys are now 40-ish feet
Holy
from
shrimp.
Squirt. As you guys get a brief little second to look around, you do have a small little opening that the explosion kind of stunned some of the little fish nearby. The big siren is unbelievably pissed. And you see that she is now, instead of being a full woman, turns into her monstrosity form, which is a truly disgusting sight of kind of a mix between like we'll say an anglerfish because that's what is on my mind now that Ert said that earlier, but really just like a hole of just claws and spikes and this, and it looks like now she's gonna eat Shell. It's the game plan. She looks very hungry and very pissed off. You guys are underneath the water. Tydox, you get to go, and then you also get one action before things. You guys are still technically tied together because the Misty Step didn't avoid the rope from falling out. So, actually, let me think about this logically. If you would have puffed into smoke, the rope would be off. So, you have the rope on you, Tydox, but it's no longer strapped on. Shit.
But it's still strapped to Squirt.
Well, what he had said right
Yeah.
before he charmed it was what? You can say it if you want, Tydox.
I said it would be tied around our waists so that we would have our hands free to do things.
I thought you strapped it though to Squirt though as well. No, so it's just
No.
the two of us. Okay.
It was, yeah, to my waist, to your waist.
He said, "I have strapped us together, just the two
Oh.
of us."
Yep, that is definitely the thought that was in my mind.
Could have
And
done it to me.
shit. Should have just thrown you in. That would have been like, goddamn. Okay, so I have
We'll get to you here in a second.
I have one action, and now since I'm level 5, I have 2 attacks per action.
Mhm.
Correct. So I have a full turn. Okay. All right. Fuck. The consequences of my actions. Well, shucks.
This could all have been completely avoided.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
I had no.
I think it's fun. I
No
think it's
thought.
great. I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean: A Stranger Tide, and they have sirens in that movie, and I was like, it's like the best part of this whole movie.
I'm gonna use. Wait, how far away are we? Can I see Squirt still? We're 10 feet in the
Yeah.
water.
You're 40 feet in the water.
We're 40 feet into the water. But
Or
I can't
40
see.
feet, I guess, from Squirt. Because you could see him. He's about 5 to 8 feet in the water, so 32-ish from Squirt.
Okay. That's. And I can only cast 1 leveled spell per action.
Mm-hmm.
So I
So
could
even though it says 2 attacks, you can only cast a spell, which is one action, or 2 attacks, which is like a melee or martial or.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try. You said Squirt is roughly
30
30.
feet away.
30 to 32 feet away.
32 to 35, but yeah. So he's like 5 to 8 feet into the water, and you guys are 40 feet down, so.
Okay.
He is just outside
If
of 30 feet, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is exactly what you're saying. It's like, all of the things. All right. Well,
You can still try to move. You just have half speed underwater. So
But-
you can get closer to him, but.
is Show right next to me? Can I grab Show and get closer to Squirt?
Mhm.
That's what we do. We grab Show and I try to like jump midair, use all of the 15 feet of movement, right? Because it's halved, and try to get closer to Squirt.
Okay.
I can see Squirt. Squirt is now 15 feet away, and that is his neck, his foot, the top of the shell.
It is actually probably his tail from where you guys
Okay.
got blown off course. That's what the
And-
D4 was the direction that you would blow. So you actually are now like
Is-
Squirt's basically like underneath. You're like underneath him essentially.
Okay. Now. Okay.
And
We
his
can't see the
tail,
top of the
his
shell, we can only
tail
see his-
is the 8 feet part that is like down.
Sweet. I'm gonna try to thorn whip his tail. See if we can hit Squirt's tail, drag us along if he keeps moseying.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it to hit.
Thoughts? Comments? Concerns? Hit 8 plus. Oh no. 11.
Do you have any bonuses or anything else that you could add to it
That's like
that's legal that
On
you
me?
have that you've already like have stated beforehand?
We
I
didn't
don't.
do anything like emboldening bond or anything. I don't think so.
Yeah, it was so long ago. I don't know if emboldening bond would still make any sense because it's been 2 hours. So I
It's
don't
been
think
it's been
Or-
more than 2 hours technically.
Yeah, I do not think there is anything that I could do to,
Yeah.
within the guidelines of the rules, enhance that.
Magic missile.
It just sucks because you need a 12 to hit it, and so you come
Mother
to
trucker.
and I'm just like, so you go and you like try to thorn whip. You grab Show, and you go and try to whip it. It's hard. It's really hard underwater to like really like get this like the momentum to go. It's not. It hits like the bottom of his tail, and misses. Um, as you like look out at your um, sorry, I just started hearing my own voice and Wicked's thing, and it scared me. Like, who is that? Um. Anyways, sorry. It's so weird to feel the echo, but
Yep.
there you go. Kind
Oof. He's wicked. Gosh.
that is scary. I'm sorry.
What happened?
I started hearing myself. Yeah. So you barely miss his tail, just so close. And if that's all that you can do, then we'll go to Ert
Yeah. It is it.
before we get to the sirens and her babies. Ert, you hear a very large splash as you're like staring up at your moon and hoping that something happens, and you're looking at these swords and see through it, and you're kind of like watching, but you're like not really paying attention to anything because you got a 6 in your perception. But you do hear a very large crash,
Kersplash.
and that could mean anything, but you know, your battle instincts, I think, take over, and you kind of realize that danger is afoot.
Which kind of foot? Left foot or right foot?
That's a saying. They're up by the front is where you hear the splash,
Okay.
and then the very loud explosion.
Okay. Did because I know Tack Pony did the whip.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have heard that the direction of where that would have come from?
Nope.
Mm.
It's underneath. It's underneath you at some point. I mean, yeah, but
Yeah. Well, I guess then at this point, because Captain really doesn't know what just happened, so at this point, Captain would look up, find out where Tydox and Show would have gone, and then at this point, so then that's probably the first thing Captain going to do is just hear that splash and see what just happened.
So you get up, you look over, and you see the rope that was tied to Show is on Squirt's body, but it looks like it's about to like fall into the water.
I see the rope.
Yeah.
Wait, is the rope still attached?
No, it's loose on the back of because whatever was held on to Show had like when he Misty stepped away, all of it like dropped down. You see that there's still a part that's like tied over, but like the rope is imagining like the coil is like falling into the water essentially, and so.
So is the rope? So I don't know if it's attached or not, but can I still grab the rope and then see and pull on it?
Yeah, you can try, certainly.
I guess it's probably the first. I think that's the first natural thing that I think would do is I seize the rope and then grab it and start pulling on it to see if there's anyone at the end of it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Strong. Shrimp. 9 plus. What's 9 plus 7?
16, nice.
That
38?
one. 38.
16, you're able to grab the rope. You feel that there is something extremely heavy on the end, but because you are a big, strong dragon too, you're able to kind of hold the rope from it like falling. You're able to brace yourself, but you know that if this thing were to move very much more, you'd be dropping whatever it's in, or you would come with it. But there is something on the end of it, and it is jiggling around down there. Tydox, you feel something on your essentially, you know, wherever you have the rope taut.
I think it's the waist, right?
I think it's the waist, yeah. You feel on your waist that something tugs and hits and tauts the rope. Ert, you do feel the rope in your hands, though, beginning to snap.
Can I see where it's at?
Where the end of it is, I mean, you're
Where
in
this-
dark, but
Okay.
you can see that, like, whatever the end is, that is, or it feels somewhere in, like, the middle that it's, like, gonna break, basically. It's the same spot that Show had saw and felt that it was gonna break.
Okay.
But you do feel that they're down there.
Well, then I guess after feeling that, and then probably my second instinct would be reaching out to Jared and Raven and say help, and basically like I need you guys' help, and then that's probably what I think what Urt would do is after feeling the rope, seeing that it's Urt, that it's taut, but it's
He yells
gripping.
for help.
And I guess
There's
see if anybody wakes up.
Raven and Jared, do you wake up?
I have bread in my ears, so I do not.
Okay.
I guess Jared wakes up. He gets out of his now slightly smaller bread bed.
You see, half of your bread bed is gone. It's just like not there.
That's actually
Also,
that's actually what wakes him up. It's not her shouting; it's him falling out of the collapsing bread bed.
yeah. It's like, what the heck? What's happened here? Jared, what do you try to do?
When he wakes up, he doesn't know anything that's gone on, but he does see Urt with the rope. He does seem like he needs help. Jared's not very strong, but I guess you'll go help. We'll give a little tug.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
And then- Oh, I was gonna say, but at this moment, if he's coming over, if Jared's coming over, I would probably I think Tynox is at the end of this rope, Jared. I don't know, and I think it might snap soon. And just before we start pulling, I think, just because I know he just kind of woke up from his slumber. I'm like, I'm holding it tight right now, but I think they're at the end of this rope, Jared. I don't know how much longer they can be, or how much longer they've been under there.
Thank you for the synopsis.
Brief synopsis.
You look at Jared, he's in like a nightgown. He's got that like head over, just completely chilling. Just like, oh, what's up? Yeah, I got you guys, man. I'm here. Jared, go ahead and roll me a strength check as well. Or if you'd rather Urt roll it, then you can assist him and have Urt roll
Probably
it.
assist. Strength is not one of Jared's strong suits.
Okay, so Urt, you can roll it.
Okay, I'll roll strong.
Yeah.
Okay, so I roll strong check.
Essentially like an advantage on your other roll. So if your other roll was better, we'll keep that roll and you'll help. Or if you can roll a better one than the 16, then we'll use that.
Well, I didn't roll better than 16, so I'm sticking with 16.
Cool. Then we'll stick that one. So you come to help him. You feel it. So then you grab it. You try to pull more on the rope. You feel if you pull any more, the rope will break. Okay. Our crew on the bottom of this. Show you take 6 points of damage. That is already halved. Tydox, you get freaking whaled by a bunch of little babies for 12 points of damage.
Shit.
Sorry, you muted.
Can I please use Sentinel?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I would do a melee attack, right? Does a 26 hit?
Yep.
Okay, and then that is a 6 points of damage.
Cool. You kill one of the little guys that's like coming to attack, but you see that Tydox is getting swarmed. You both are at this point starting to get swarmed by what feels like hundreds of these things that, you know, that getting in the water was a really bad idea. As just hundreds of little babies begin to start trying to gnaw and tear at you guys as this is happening. The mama siren, who is the one that lures you in, it is now
Mama.
her turn. Okay. Show, you're the only one that is going to be affected by this. Let me see, because you're mindless rage, you can't be charmed or frightened, actually, so never mind. Just kidding! Frick!
Mm-hmm.
Tydox, you are
Oh, now me?
charmed.
Just kidding. Still
You're
charmed.
still
Okay.
charmed. So as this goes on, this aching sensation to get near this woman begins. You know, obviously you've given show, and you begin to start trying to tear back down because you're still charmed. Go ahead and roll me another charisma saving throw.
How far are they away from us? Still like 32 feet or whatever? Or did they get closer?
They got closer.
15. Charisma save. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have 0 to charisma. 16. Still
16
nothing.
Barely misses to 17.
Barely.
So,
Barely. Okay.
barely. So everything in you begins to start to wail back down. The rope snaps. So in your hands, or as you guys are trying to pull, you feel the rope now has gotten loose. Tydox begins to start trying to, against every fiber of his being, get closer to this woman who no longer looks like a woman, but looks like a disgusting barracuda fish, like a fish.
Anglerfish.
Yeah, an anglerfish. Yeah.
What about a viperfish? I think a viperfish makes more sense because it's longer, elongated, whereas an anglerfish is a little
Not anymore.
round.
Well, technically, her face is more of an anglerfish, like really big mouth, and then has like chiseling blades in her mouth that are like circling like this, basically like a meat grinder. But Tydox, you were up. Oh, actually, no, it's Show first, and then it was
I'm going
Tydox.
to pull up that viperfish right now.
So how much further did Tydox go back down?
15 feet. So now you guys would be back to essentially where you guys were.
So Tydox took me with him back down.
Yeah, because he decided to hold on to you. Things that he said.
But
But-
he would never let you go, no matter what.
Right, but if I was still, I mean, you game.
Well, it's the siren's turn, and that's what the charm did. Basically, was it pulls you closer to her.
Yeah, it wanted me to abandon everything against every fiber and just go towards her.
Yep. So what it does is it takes your full movement to come to her, but because it's difficult terrain, it's half movement. So you use your movement to get up, so it uses that movement to bring you back down.
I was just trying to argue that I may have been incredibly distracted and not really cared what I was holding if I was charmed.
It is a good point, but I would think that you were still holding on to Show. And unless Show wants to like fight out of the grip, and then I'll give Show an extra action on top of the fight out of the grip. But you were the one that said you would grab Show and
It's true.
hold
Nat
you up.
20.
That's true.
So, Show would like to do Sho would like to fight out of Tydox's grip, but he would like to do it in a specific way. I'm not sure if any of you guys were swimmers, but I was a swimmer, and so we have a specific way of like when you're pushing off of something. So you grab onto the top. So like I imagine it's the collar, and then I bring up my legs essentially, and you kick with both legs off. So I would be going down, but I'm sending Tydox up, theoretically. And I have the boots of springing and spriting, so I think I can go 3 times as much. Which
Mhm.
my walking speed is now 40. So I think
Yep.
I can do 60 feet. So theoretically, I think I can launch Tydox into the air out of the water if I hit him well enough.
Yep. I would say that is super cool. And yes, again, you're going to have to roll to see how well that goes. But I like the idea. With the strength, I will say the DC for something like that, again, is like kicking 300 pounds out of the water, even with magical boots, is kind of crazy. So the DC that you need to hit, you can get advantage on this, is 20.
And it's a strength, right?
Yeah.
Natural fucking 20!
Jesus
God
Christ.
What is this session?
Never lose these die ever. So you kick him off. So he goes 30 feet up into the air, and you go 30 feet down. Is how we'll split your movement.
Okay.
And so Tydox gets up high enough where Squirt sees him and grabs, like he it's his tail, so he like sees him and then he like scoops his tail basically to catch, to move in a position. Tydox still has to try to grab it because it's just like 2 feet away, but is enough to really like get close enough to it to give him a better chance at like grabbing the tail. Sho, you do go 30 feet deeper into the water. Deeper into the water, you feel more and more things begin to start trying to grab you and tear at you. And you're raged, so you're fighting all these things off at once, but you're quickly getting overwhelmed, and your last line of defense is 30 feet above you. As you see your friends, your companions, those that you're meant to lead, slowly drift as you continue to fall down. Is there anything else you would like to try to do?
So how close is the siren to me?
We do some calculus real quick.
He's using the Pythagorean theorem.
I am. Probably close to like 20 feet from you in the opposite direction. So,
Opposite direction. And
so like,
are there a
imagine
bunch?
they're like here. You're like here now, and then she's like here.
Okay. And how many of these like babies are around me?
Hundreds.
Hundreds? And like below me and above me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, imagine again the scene basically is like you drop like a piece of food into like minnows and stuff when they're in the lake. Like look, and there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of them that are just like coming to try to tear this piece of food away. Imagine that, but they're like 2 to 3 foot baby sea demons.
Okay.
As they're trying to rip and tear your flesh away.
I'll run.
So
Again, getting in the water is a terrible idea.
yeah. So
I respect it, though. I
Sho-
think it's awesome. So keep it up.
Shell is in the water. He used one. I assume that was similar to an attack or movement action.
It is
So that would-
actually just movement.
Movement. Okay, so I still have like 2 attacks, I think. But what I would specifically like to do was, I assume Dropnir got recalled into my hand because a turn is backed by. Shell would like to, like if he's if he's parallel with Squirt, essentially, I want to take Dropnir, stab it while holding on to it, stabbing it downwards, and then like kind of like putting my stomach on it and seeing if I can cause an explosion to push me back up.
That's fucking. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a to hit, trying to beat a 17.
That will be 18.
18 is just enough. You go and stab it in the bottom, and you realize this thing hurts. Go ahead and roll a damage.
D6 and a D8. That's 12, 18, 24.
So you take 12 damage, and you
Okay.
are shot up in the air as you explode up towards the front. All these things kind of get discombobulated. You're safe for just a little bit longer. You will still take damage because they're just like tearing at you, but you take less damage. That's what the same thing that happened the last time. It's like 8d4 or 8d6 of damage.
Okay.
It isn't split over to 4 instead of 8.
8d6 damage is crazy.
Getting in the water was a bad idea. I know I set it up like, oh, they would help, but sirens are fucking bastards. So don't listen to them.
Good thing I'm
Yes.
oblivious.
And you're blown back up. You're blown up, at least closer to it. So let's say, about 20 feet up. So you're about 40 feet away from Squirt. So, not quite back to where you were, but, getting back to him doesn't seem necessarily like a terrible idea. And you do have one more attack. You have 2 attacks.
I assume there's still like a lot around me. Just
Oh,
like they
yeah.
follow me out. I'm just gonna attack with, with a fist, an unarmed strike.
Cool.
And that is a 13, which I don't think hits, right?
A 13 hits the little ones for sure.
Oh, okay. And that would be
They have like a 9.
7 points of damage.
It explodes.
Sick. It's just with their fists, so it does not explode.
It explodes.
Ert,
But it
you're
is dead.
up. The rope. Yeah, a couple of them die as you're punching them, squishing them. they're like, there's like thousands of them, or I say hundreds, but there's like, so many that it's like it's a really bad situation. You're all trying to peel away at your skin as you're, fighting these things off, and you take 8 points, half to 4.
Who does?
Yeah,
Or was that
showed us. Sorry.
I was like, I take no
Tylox,
damage.
You're also still in the water as these things are trying to take you out, so you take 8 points of damage.
That was me.
Yeah. Ert, you're up. You guys are the last ones in the water still, so it goes back to Ert after because he's not in the water. So it's like underwater and then now the overwater people.
So,
You feel the rope has broken. It's now loose in your hands as you have Jared kind of holding you to try to
Still pull. I keep pulling.
just say, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Can I see them at all?
You can see as you look down. All
Because
of
there's
you
like
see-
explosions shit going on, but
Yeah, there's a lot of like you see the water like popping up and stuff. It's magical darkness within the water too. The way the siren like works is that you can see her clear as day in the water. That's how she was able to get the little babies to like get there and hide and that. So you see underneath you, you see that there's like a woman who looks though she's trying to beckon you closer to her. Um, as you look
yeah,
down,
but I can't notice anything.
go ahead and roll me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. I got me. It's 12 plus 9.
Passes.
21.
So you are not charmed and not forced to get into the water. So you're good.
But I can't see anything like in the water though,
Mm-mm.
besides just like explosions and stuff like that. And so I have no
A
idea how far
beautiful
everyone
woman.
is. Then yeah, but I notice her. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I think if I use divine sense, I think I might be able to pick up on them.
Yep. Yeah. Same way that you were able to do it back in uh, the Lost Temple of Mimir. You're able to see the abyssal energy that radiates in their heart.
So I'm able to locate where
Yeah, you
Show
feel
and
Show is deeper within the water, and then you feel Tydox is actually kind of close to you.
mhm.
He feels almost like he's right underneath you.
Okay. So then, can I? I feel like he's right next to me,
Uh,
or like pretty
relatively,
close.
relatively underneath you. Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how swimming works in this. Can you like swim up, grab, and come up? Does it work that way? I don't know how swimming works in D&D.
So the water counts as difficult terrain.
Mhm.
So difficult terrain cuts your movement in half. So you would be able to go down and come back up because of how close that Tydox is. So you would be able to grab him and try to come up. You will take damage.
Can I do that in one turn though?
Yep. And that could be just your movement too. So,
Well, then I'm gonna do that.
okay. So you go down. You get down there. You see Tydox is really close to hitting the. It's like 2 feet away from Squirt's tail, and he's trying to Squirt's trying to get his tail to like hook into him. But you see him as you get into the water. As you get into the water, you see hundreds of little baby things all begin to descend upon you the moment you get into the water. You take 9 points of damage.
Take it.
Okay.
And okay.
And it's your movement to get down. You get close to Tydox. You're fighting off all these little buggers as they're trying to attack you and kill you. Tydox, you see has, you see his face get close to you, and he's able to grab you. And then if you want to use the rest of your movement speed to go up, you certainly can.
Well, yeah. Then I'm gonna do that. I'll grab Tydox and swim up with Tydox.
Okay.
Right? Because you said I
Yeah.
could do that, right? I can go in and
Mhm.
out and.
In one turn, yeah. And so that's
Yeah.
all your movement speed as you climb back onto Squirt. You have Tydox in his robot mech suit there. Is that the rest of your turn?
And then,
Is Divine Sense, is that an action?
let me see.
Does it say take an
Sense.
action to use that?
As an action, you can detect good and evils.
So you just have a bonus action left.
Okay. So are we out of the water now? Safely out of the water?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And then, at this point, I would probably talk to Tydox. Where's Show at? What happened? And that's when I would ask Tydox.
In the middle of a fight. Dope.
Yeah.
Tydox, you
Or
are.
aren't we safe now because we're out technically?
Out of the water, yes. You're charmed, Tydox. All you can hear is the thoughts of this woman who's beautiful and caring and kind, and all of your thoughts are intoxicated by her.
He's charmed?
Uh,
Can I tell that?
You can tell as you bring him up that he doesn't answer any of your questions that you ask him or anything that you say to him, and all that he says and looks at is this thought of this woman. And
How does how do you break out of being charmed?
she technically, you'd have to.
Is it a role that Tydox has to do, or does
Tydox
like
has to
every turn?
pass the charisma on his turn, whenever it is. There's one option to pass it. The second, okay, is to do damage, and then she fails on her concentration check.
Well, then, I guess after hearing, oh, it's an action. Hold on, let me see. Action.
Do damage to Tydox or do damage to the siren?
To the
Do damage to
siren.
the siren.
And then she loses her concentration. Okay.
Then
And
she
she-
has a chance.
To the
Okay,
chance.
yeah.
to
And she
roll.
rolls, makes a roll. Okay, okay.
Then, damn.
This is basically a spell that has been cast on him. Technically an ability, but that's how it works. It's a concentration.
So if, where's my ability? Because I don't suppose, does extra attack count as like only attack, or does it count like as another action?
It's
Extra
only an
attack.
extra attack.
Damn.
So you,
Okay.
that's just as you only have a bonus action left.
Yeah, I'm looking at all my stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think compelled duel is gonna really work on Tydox right now. I was trying to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I guess at this point, can I just I have Tydox up, and then yeah, I'll see. I guess I'll just reach out to Jared to see if he can do anything. But I have Tydox right now, and he's kind of held down because I'm just trying to. So I don't know if that would count as maybe like a grapple or an action or bonus action. But I have Tydox with me. I took him out of the water, so I've got him.
You do have him with you.
Hmm.
It's important to know. Jared, you're up. You have just seen Hurt jump off and then come back on.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know about the charm, and I'm really regretting wasting a third level spell slot.
For some
assuming
red
that I
bread?
would get a long
Red
rest.
day?
I wanted you guys to rest. That's it.
I
I
want to
love it.
rest.
I love it. I love it. Keep it up.
Bread.
The least I can do is at least heal Tydox. How much do I want to heal? Actually, I have the staff. That's probably the best use of the staff. Not it. This one. So I can use. I'll go up to Tydox and use Cure Wounds. I'll do. Level I want. I'll do a level 2 Cure Wounds. So 2d8 plus 5.
Sick.
2d8 plus 5.
Oh, that's okay. You get 13 back.
Nice.
Okay. It's now the siren's turn, unless Jared has anything else. Tydox.
I
ahead
go
and
straight back
roll.
down.
Hey, charisma saving throw.
Okay. 17 plus 3 is a dirty 20.
20
Wait,
passes,
charisma-
dude.
Wait. Oh. Okay, it's a flat
17?
17.
On the dot. Passes. Good. You got a 16
Right.
last time. 17
I did.
on the dot.
Gosh.
So you are broken out of the charm. You will recognize that everything that you've just felt was a lie, and you cannot be charmed again by her.
All right. All right. Okay.
And as you look into the water, all you see is her.
We're on the thing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're on
We're
squirt.
on Squirt.
Squirt's neck, yeah.
We're on his neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to Raven to get him up. Or use. How far away is he?
It's gonna take you a little bit to get. I mean, Squirt's you can get him basically, but you got to climb up and then get over to him. But yeah, it'd take most.
Do I have
of your-
enough movement to do it?
Yeah, you take most of your movement to get over there. Yeah,
Okay.
you'd have like 5 to 10 feet to come back, but probably
Okay.
you probably can't go up, over, back up, over and down. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes 10 movement to climb up, 20, like 5, maybe 10 to get there, and then 10 back. You would just be on top of Squirt.
I'm still on top of Squirt. So what I want to do is get to Raven, wake him up, and tell him he's going in the water after show, and then do shit.
Is,
Oh,
is
sorry.
he immune from
sorry.
charm and wild shape?
Sorry, it was the siren's turn. That's why you rolled the charisma.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So I'm no longer.
You're still on the thing. You're just no longer termed.
Okay.
Siren, though, again, is pissed at Show. Let's see if she hits Show. Somebody gets really happy because she gets natural 20s. Then gets a natural 20 on her. I'm so sorry,
Somebody come get her.
Show. Forgive me. This one's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. Okay, so she breathes this hot aqua breath scream as it comes to you. It's amplified that it's in the water. So it is so loud and just absolutely pierces your eardrums as you go through this. You take 10 points of psychic damage, and it's about 28 points of piercing damage, half to 14.
Does it push me back any further, or
No, it is. It also discombobulates you. You are deafened at this point. You can no longer hear under here. So any ability check that requires healing or hearing, you automatically fail. At this point, you cannot hear anything that's going on. It's like a flash grenade or whatever, like a stunt. You're like so, disoriented. Okay, it is now your turn, Show.
so? How I was at 40.
40.
Am I still at 40?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like this thing didn't push you at all. It just was just like a loud burst. I don't know if you've ever seen like a TV show like Aquaman does his little like scream underwater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's basically what you just experienced.
Give me 1 second, please.
Yeah. Actually, keep talking. I have to pee so desperately bad that
Mhm.
you can think for a second.
Swimming on the
I
stream.
can still hear everything.
Can we hear you?
You gotta leave that mic on, boy. I wanna hear that stream.
Streaming the stream.
No.
I wanna stream the stream. Is that a fan or a tinkle?
Why are you like this?
Broken her stream
Shell is
consciousness.
dying. I have 12 hit points. Okay. So, like, you know how he's in the water? Our boy Squirt is in the water. And my boy Squirt can speak Draconic, and I can also speak Draconic. But can I speak in water?
Yes.
Okay. And
Do it.
how much of Squirt? I know he's like 5 to 8 feet, but like how long is his tail and how long are his little armies?
Squirt is fucking huge. So, just so you know, you fed like a full-grown dragon on his head, or not a full-grown dragon,
Yeah,
like a baby dragon.
a
on his
baby.
head. Squirt's a very large thing, and he was like a baby. So, like, him himself is like a small boat. I think we had measured him. Even now, he's bigger than he was before. He's also a baby. He would probably be 45 to maybe 60 feet long. His tail, especially, is like 40 feet long.
Okay, I don't know if this is, but this is something I'm thinking is that. Am I close to Squirt's neck or his tail?
You are closer to his head.
His head, okay. What if I asked Squirt if he could reach down while I swim up at him, and if he's able to go down like 20 feet and I can go up 20 feet, and I grab onto his head, and then if he can use, I think they have steam breath attacks at the siren as I try to climb back on.
Yeah.
Or at least just getting back to him, or he doesn't have to attack, but ideally like grabbing onto the bottom of his neck or something, past his mouth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everybody on Squirt, go ahead and roll me a dex saving throw. Or a strength check. Or strength. Dex saving throw or a strength check, yeah. Or I'll allow acrobatics or athletics. You tell me
17's my
which-
highest.
Acrobatics. That's a nat 1.
Okay.
We do another attack, pony.
We got one pass, one fail. You're
muted.
You muted.
Sorry. -1 plus 17 is 16.
Okay,
because
two
everything you
passes,
mentioned
one
is
fail. Raven, what do you got?
Am I in neutral since I'm still sleeping?
Nope.
Okay.
So does this count as Raven being awake? Was woken up by the startle?
You could possibly be woken up. Not by the startle.
What
I'll
was
tell
the
you what happened.
check?
It's either you could do strength. It's a dex saving throw, a strength check, or you could do acrobatics or athletics. And what roles did you guys all do? Tell me which one of those four.
Oh.
I
I
think
did strong.
in all of those cases, 17 is my best.
I did acrobatics.
I
Right.
do not care. They're all the -1 for me,
Just
literally.
pick one of them, and I'll tell you what happens.
Okay. Um, let's go with strength. To
So
max Sue.
3 strength checks. You guys grip
Acrobatics.
on acrobatics. In the middle of your sleep, as water, pours over, because Squirt's only like 10 feet, so he would have to go like fully submerged into the water to like fully get in there, to do what Show wants. It does work. He gets all the way there. 3 passes to 1 fail. You guys all succeed as a group for this thing. So you guys all hold on. You in your sleep, the water comes and pushes you on, and you like spin in a perfect thing that you like, spin back into his like back, so you're like still perfectly there. Jared, you get ready to fall, but because their strength checks were high enough, you fall, but they grab you, and Squirt
Nice.
like doesn't let you fall. But you guys all get entirely soaking wet as this all happens. Um, Squirt breathes fire down on this thing as it's going down in there, and it creates a wave, for you to climb yourself up. He goes all the way around you. Basically, you're able to grab onto him, and Squirt's like, freaking, let's get the hell out of here, basically, and moves up, out of the water for you guys. As you guys begin to leave, unfortunately, all of you guys had entered into the water. Everybody but Raven. No, I think Raven, because he still would have to go 10 feet down. Take 14, half to 7 for Show, 14 for everyone else.
Ouch.
So I have a question. Why? Because there's a lot of turbulence in the water, and these things are small. Why would we be taking so much? I don't
you guys
think
weren't. You guys only took
realis-
4d6 this time because they went underwater, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of them. So only
So,
a few of
He's
them.
got nose.
Oh, I just had a question of should I apply my long rest now and then take the damage, or do I take damage and then after the battle officially long rest?
So
I just want to clarify.
Didn't long rest though.
technically,
He is a shorter.
no, because he took an
He
extra.
only slept
first-
hour.
Yeah, technically,
Watch
only
2 hours.
was able to take a long rest. You were in the midst of a long rest when this was happening, Raven. So it would take it before your long rest happened.
Okay.
You get-
So
Red bed's all soggy now.
yeah, oh yeah, your bread bed is soggy, but Squirt comes out of the water, and on the bottom of his chin is Show, and Show, if you want to, or Squirt's trying to like put his neck up as much as he can, so all the rest of you guys that were on his like neck back are now like kind of wedged in between the thing, but he's trying his hardest to like keep Show out of the water at this point.
I think Shell kind of like is scrambling as much as he can, and he's asking for Moro to try to like get, pull him up as much as he can. I imagine like his little claws are digging into my skin as I like
Yeah.
I'm trying to get on top of his head, not Moro's head, on Squirt's head, and trying to hoist myself up essentially as much
Yeah,
as I
Moro
can.
freaking perfectly has just stayed on the head the whole time because he's a freaking champion. But you see Moro's tail is like wagging, and he slides his tail in between you, Show, and then kind of whips you back towards safety to kind of linger. He's kind of pissed that you've woken him up, and he breathes fire all throughout the water, but his fire doesn't go underneath the water. It just like hits the fire or hits the water, and just saturates. But it basically keeps them away for a second. But you guys are all kind of climb back onto the neck of Squirt. Moro's like doing his best to like, he's like trying to bite him, and he's putting his head in the water and like grabbing 1 or 2 of them and instantly eating them. But they like keep scratching his face, and so he's like breathing fire underneath the water, but it doesn't go anywhere. and then Squirt just kind of like is moving his like tail and arms and stuff to kind of maneuver away from all this stuff. Um,
And I assume Susan stayed on the boat as well when it rolled.
you look up and you
All my
as
homies
in
hate Susan.
Susan is very damp and wet, but when it happened, she kind of like jumped up into the air
Mm-hmm.
and just was splashed. So she was just like kind of floating. In
She's
the
like,
air.
I'm a bird. It's fine.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going in there. You know, but that splashing of the water as Squirt comes back up is the thing that got her. So Susan is a-okay. The rest of you guys are on the neck. Do you guys climb back up to the back of Squirt as he ends? And then there's still a few hours left before morning. If you guys want to finish your long rest.
Stowe's throwing up water. I think just
Yeah,
like
oh yeah.
Yeah.
he only has 5 out of 71 hit points, so I'm just imagining he probably passes out. No talking or anything, just trying not to die, basically.
All
We're
right.
well rested and.
Raven's like, I left y'all for one shift, and
What
I
the
somehow
fuck?
got her.
What the fuck happened?
So
Yeah.
went right back to bed.
Okay. So you guys all continue into the night. Does anyone stay up, or are they all? You guys all?
I mean, technically it's my shift.
Fucking Eric. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Does anybody stay up? Yeah, this motherfucker.
I was like, I don't mind going back to bed. You know, I'm a little sleepy.
So Ert stays up, and nothing else happens throughout the night.
I have a question. If I do it, does this count as a short rest?
Wait, what?
How does this work? I don't know, cause I don't know. I had a long rest, and then we're just going.
Oh,
You guys sleep again?
Can somebody heal me?
yeah, right?
What isn't this a long rest though now for show?
Yeah, you can finish the long rest. That's
Yeah,
What
so
if
that means-
what if something happens in between that time? We still got
Yeah.
sirens right there.
You are
Yeah.
staying up,
Right.
right? So you don't.
Yeah,
you
I'm-
technically have 2 hours to make sure nothing else happens to show. Is essentially
Yeah,
what happened.
and he already said nothing, so we're fine.
What?
You did say
Nothing
it.
happens. I did.
Exactly.
Nothing happens
want-
throughout the rest of the
Checkmate.
night.
Nerds.
You guys, those who were not able to get a long rest, get a long rest. No, you can't take a
Yay.
short rest. So whatever damage is done to you, or I'm sorry.
Lame. Can I get a heal?
So the rest of you guys,
No.
after a grueling night, sleeping on a dragon's turtle's back is not the most comfortable thing in the world either. But as you guys awaken as the sun begins to
Here comes
rise,
the sun.
and it starts to show you. You see a green hue as the sun comes up, and this emerald water that is there. But in the daytime, the water actually is beautiful. It's a beautiful shade of green, and despite the events of last night / early morning, it's actually kind of peaceful. Again, as the sun comes up, you guys do get a long rest. I will say it wasn't like the greatest sleep because in the middle of the night, bad shit happened. So there you go.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everyone wakes up to just find Captain Mert just fishing. Just fishing.
Like, where did he even get the pole from?
Yeah,
He's using,
right?
he's using a sword and the rope that. the rope.
Captain Mert's just fly fishing with the moon blade. With the
With
moonlight.
soggy bread. Soggy bread on the end.
Yeah. He's got a piece of bread, the rope, and the Drider longsword because the Moonlight Grazer would be impossible to try to flatfish with that thing.
But it would be funny.
It would be funny, but it would be impossible to try to do that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, you guys wake up after a very long night, but still a safe night. All of you guys get a long rest. You guys should all be back to full health.
Jesus.
In which direction would you guys like to head? Still south towards the Cutthroat Isles? Was that what we decided?
Yup.
Okay. As you guys have drifted most of the night and the morning, you look and hear the sounds of like seagulls and birds. You look out and you see a port full of ships as you get to the first isle. And you see it lined with different ships, cargo ships. All of them don black flags. As you
Any more
guys
for squirts?
begin to ascend upon this city, you're still quite a ways out, but that's the first piece of land that you guys would see. Maybe about an hour of sailing before you guys really hit it, but you guys definitely see that this place is popping. And you hear like cannon fire, you hear like shots and guns and, you know, all sorts of crazy shenanigans. Off like, you know, it's not like very vibrant, but you can definitely hear that that's like, as you guys are coming to this island, that it's a lawless land of tomfoolery.
Yeah. As I am fishing with my Drider longsword, is it glowing? Is it glowing
You've
faster,
noticed
harder, stronger?
that the faint glow has gotten better, for sure. That whatever meant there is a magic item somewhere within this area.
Did I catch any fish?
Roll an animal handling.
Silas. Please be nat 20. No! Damn it! I think it was actually a good roll, but I accidentally messed it up. Alright.
And just
10.
re-roll.
Well, I don't know what it was. But I
What
got a
was it?
10. That was my reroll.
You catch one little
Go into my inventory.
the
Little
siren,
guppy.
the little siren baby.
Oh!
You catch one of them that is just gnawing on the bread and is like, wow, actually, it's pretty nice. Maybe I shouldn't eat the, human carcasses. Maybe bread.
Did you see, like, look at show has, like, no clothes, basically, because I assume the
Oh,
little
yeah.
piranha children, and then he's just, like, scarred to death, and it's just, like, he's just, like, no. Like, just can't even look at it.
It's just
Put it
gnawing on
back.
the bread. Just like, I could eat this thing.
I'm gonna put it in my
Do it.
inventory.
Okay, you can put it in your inventory. That's fine.
Show would
Throw it in the
squish it as
fire.
immediately as soon as he brings it even close to Squirt, it would get squished.
So you have
Then I will
the-
do a squished siren guppy in my inventory.
There you go. That works. Yeah,
Fucking rotten fish. She's me smelling like.
just I'm gonna remember that. So just now,
I'm putting it in there. I hope you know
Yeah.
that. I'm not
This will
joking.
come up.
Squished.
this will come up later,
3 months from now, when you have a dried squished guppy fish.
and you're like, what? Yeah. So you guys see this? Do you guys do anything to prepare to get to this this place, or talk or role play? I mean, it's really up to you guys what you want. I mean, you guys see that this city or town, it's like basically almost entirely on it's like a beautiful land, but a lot of it is on just like a dock and ships and wooden piers and stuff.
Jared will go Jared will offer his healing if anyone needs it, like Ert.
Just had a long rest.
Excuse me, sir. I would greatly appreciate. I didn't get one.
I didn't have one.
The show not get one too.
I have a long rest, so I'm good.
Okay. Yeah,
Well-
heal up Ert's boo boos.
Wait. Before you do that, though, I have a half a healing kit here, so that way you don't have to use any of your spells. Maybe that would be some assistance. Because in a healer's hands, it does better from what I was told.
You actually pull up the healer's kit, and Susan actually looks at it, and she's actually able to use it to heal you completely. So, but she uses all of the material on it.
Say less, I'm like, and then I look at Susan. Now that we know,
Fine,
Thank
I'm
you,
just gonna
Susan.
Go back to bed then.
she looks at is like I did nothing all day, so she's like, oh, help, and then she looks at Jared like almost like the donkey from Ramen. They would look at the donkey like it just like the instant rivalry, like look at you like these are my friends now.
Ernst's very happy that he got his Siren Guppy that is slightly squished, but at this point, since I see that
Not
we're kind of
slightly.
going this very squished Siren Guppy, Ernst's probably gonna put away his fishing sword, and he's probably gonna be perusing the docks and piers to see if there's anywhere where we can dock squirt at. Is there anywhere that looks like it would be acceptable for us to make land?
There is place to make land, certainly. As you get closer to the chaos of a city full of pirates, I mean, you see just insanity. What were you gonna ask, Joe?
I would like to like show kind of like slaps Ert, and it was just like not like slaps, but like like knocks him, and he's just like, we're not gonna dock Squirt at the docks. He can make land somewhere in secret, and we don't need everybody to know we came in on a dragon turtle. That's sure as hell bringing attention to us. Come on, let's think a little bit here, Captain.
Well, where do you think we should go? And we're kind of browsing, like Earth's using his little big old claws.
You see off on the side that there's like a like what appears to be kind of like a hidden beach of sorts that might be like the main attraction is like the docks and the piers and stuff, but you see that there is certainly an option to kind of try to hide and to be inconspicuous away. You definitely look and see that even if you guys were noticed, like if people were looking out, it does not look like that's the craziest thing that's been happening. Like you truly look and see that everything that is going on at the docks and the thing is just pure chaos. Like people are trying to kill each other. They're like shooting cannons, like in the galley, like in the bay, like they're just blasting things. They're shooting them up in the air. They're not really shooting at it. They're like, almost like oh, look at what my ship can do. It's like little mini games and stuff. So it's not like at each other, but it's just like loud chaos. Like you hear gunpowder going off. Like you see someone like throwing fire up into the air.
That's okay. I still want to dock away from it because I don't want Squirt and Moro to be caught up in the craziness. I want them to be little safe babies.
Cool. So I'll say you won't need to roll a stealth check or anything because, it's not like you, unless
They
you
just
guys
don't care.
are, they just don't care, you know. So, yeah.
So, lesson
Okay.
learned about fuck sirens. Even if they're asking for help, we ain't doing that again. So, I don't think I'm ever gonna go swimming again. And how much money do we got?
This is also the first time you've seen land in so long. That like real land that you're like, oh, like, dude, thank God Forgot Joe doesn't like swimming either, so it's so funny.
Shell's just
Let's see. Let me just find my pouch. I got 39 gold pieces right here. What else we got?
39 gold pieces.
I got my
39.
I got
I spent
nothing.
a lot.
I'm poor. I got 0.
See, I've got my gold right here.
I have.
I've been waiting for this moment. You can hear it.
Jared.
I don't think I actually officially have gold. No, I do. I have 180.
Yeah.
Jared pulls up, his. It's just a stack full of just like a huge bag, and you see him just like look at it a little bit.
Well, I don't know about you, but, and I really didn't think I would come to say this, but I'm tired of fighting for right now. If we could just get like a room at a tavern, that would be good. And maybe we can just buy the information we need. Because those little guppies, man, that was just a lot. And Shell, I think, is kind of like walking like he's like he has bad vertigo, from like being at sea. Like he's just like can't even like
What's going on?
what's going on. Like I just like does not have his land legs, for sure.
Hey, go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw also. Let's see how well the sea has done for you.
I got a toe.
A 2 plus
Jesus.
7, so a 9. You are extremely sick. Like seasick. Like, I mean, you were under that water for a long time. The things that you saw under there.
I
are
feel
gonna
like
haunt you
I
for a
like
while.
also like I went 60 feet down. Like I have the bins. I feel like
He
for
does.
sure.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
so I'm just like not. I mean, like I have all my HP back, but I'm not well. I think.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like you're definitely not well. You're back on land, and this is like a good feeling. But
Yeah.
it just feels so weird. You're like,
Mhm.
what? So Squirt, he climbs up on the land with you guys. He's also pretty tired because he had a grueling night of like fending off all the sirens from you guys. So he actually kind of, you see as he gets out of the water, he's scarred up on the bottom of his, lots of scales and stuff. It's the first time you really gotten to get a good look at the bottom and his underside. But you see cuts and bruises and stuff. But he looks happy as a clam. He's just pretty excited. But he does look
What?
pretty wounded, and it looks like he probably could use some rest. So if you want to make this journey kind of on your own, and Susan, she stays with Squirt to kind of
What?
help him out. But Mora looks like if you guys want to take him, he's more than willing to come along. But if you want him to stay with Squirt and Susan, they can certainly stay here.
You have my hand raised.
What's up?
Okay. Can I obviously show is
No.
Okay. Obviously show is a little wobbly. How can I like
Yes.
knowledge wise can I kind of tell what's wrong with show?
Mhm.
Okay. Do I don't need to roll for anything? I just know.
She got his ass kicked by
Uh,
thousands of
I
little
know
fish.
that. I know
Pretty
that.
fucking obvious.
But I'm just saying, because if show got the bends, I can do something about it.
You can
You
lay
can
on
do
hands
about
and it
the
doesn't
thing.
matter. You don't have to know what it is. You can lay on hands and cure a disease. Oh boy.
Give me an insight or a medicine check.
Let's do it.
Really low DC. So just
I
know-
got 16 total.
Okay. It's a 10.
Just
So,
knowing full well.
yeah.
Perfect.
It's really low, so if you miss it, it's on you. Yes, you do know that Sho has contracted a disease. He's kind of sick. He's at full health, but does not feel good.
So does Leon is it a disease then?
What's that? You can
You
do
can read
it's
it.
like five.
You can
five-
choose, right?
Well, no. But what I'm saying, what show has,
No.
does it count as a
no.
disease, or does show just got the benzies?
He's got like a sickness, so like 5 lay on hands would be able
Would
to
cure it? Oh, okay. Well, then I would probably be like, well, sure, I don't know if you want my help, but I think I can help you feel at least a little bit better.
So, breathes, and he's just like, you didn't want to help me when I came up half dead out of the ocean, so I certainly don't want your help now. Um, and
Sounds good to me.
um, and he's like, no, I think I just need some time on land. I think it's pretty obvious I'm not up to snuff here. So, if maybe we can get our act together as we go into this den of pirates, I would appreciate that. And
Yep.
he's ignoring me, so I guess that's great. Moro,
Moral's like bouncing in the sand. It's the first time he's seen sand, so he's kind of like, toothless. He's just like doing the little prance. And he's like trying to draw little like things in it, and they're obviously not good drawings, but you see him just kind of like playing in the sand.
Moro, and his show starts speaking in Jakarn. He's like, I need you to stay here with Squirt and Susan. And if anybody tries messing with them, I need you to fly in and come get us in town. Can you do that for me?
And he nods.
He goes,
Perfect. That sounds great. And then Shell gives them like, little pats. And then Shell goes over to Squirt and he like, I assume Squirt's kind of like laying down, kind of like grooving in the sand. So Shell kind of kneels down with him and he's just like, thanks for saving me. I really appreciated that. I was like, I think that was a real close one.
And he goes, friend, always. And then he nods, and he calls you mother of dragons, basically.
And then Shell's like, this Patton. He's like, thanks, buddy. At least I can count on these two dragons, right? And
roll for oblivious. Got a nat 1. Actually, I did. That's crazy. I'm super oblivious.
Is
You like sneeze like an anime, like someone's talking about you.
Yeah. He's got his fucking finger in his. Huh?
I'm just doing the Gojo walk, just fucking. just flopping.
Yeah. Susan looks like she's Squirt doesn't look like he's like doing too bad. Like, I mean, but you do see like, I mean, he took a beating, saving you guys and swimming in there, and so, but you see Susan is like tending to his wounds, and she's like just smiling and like she feels part of the team, so she's like extra happy.
Hey, she helped me. So.
yeah. And I forgot what I was gonna say. What happens? Ta-da-da. Oh, the other thing I think that happened was I think Sho lost his hat, so I think he also is feeling not as captainly anymore. And I think he needed that for this upcoming situation. So he's just in a foul mood, like the foulest of moods. I think you guys can feel like the black cloud just hanging over his head.
Yeah,
and
no
just-
captain hat. Does that make you a real captain?
And like,
Was
if
it
I
that-
don't have the drip, am I even a captain? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Look at that.
And so he's just gone through it right now. So yeah.
All right. You guys start to head into the jungle. You hear the cannon fire and the gunshots, and it's pretty easy to find this area. As you guys get a better look, you see just people in the streets just fist fighting and arm wrestling and wrestling. You see like all sorts of different types of people. This is like the most diverse place of like races that you've ever seen. It looks like there's like, elves, dwarves, like, like not dragonborn, but lizard folk. They're like dragonborn, but they're like lizards. You probably have never seen one before, but there's all these like kind of weird races. There's like genasi that are like this world. The genasi are more like elements than they are like people. So you see like a guy made of. He looks like a human, but is very like almost translucent. And you see like another one that looks kind of human, but is like very like stony, like and he gets arm wrestled and his arm just collapses onto the ground and like falls over like a bunch of pebbles on the ground, and then it like rubbles back into his arm like a normal thing. This is a weird place for the likes of you guys, mostly like normal D&D races. These are all just like a hodgepodge of people and things that are happening.
Do we see anything that looks like a bar or a tavern?
It kind of feels like every building here looks like a bar or a tavern. Almost entirely. Like that was like the one thing. Like there's many like different like places or seats, but you see that like everybody around you's drinking. They're all going, and it looks like every building here has a bar.
Am I able to sense which is like the best bar? Like what's the high end?
Where's the vibe check?
Which has the highest Yelp rating?
Are you looking specifically for rating or booze content?
Quality
like
of
quality
booze.
booze.
Quality of booze.
Go ahead.
Beds your ass.
You can
Bar's
definitely
great.
roll this with advantage. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of.
That's so
Raven's
good.
just sniffing.
Let's get his
like,
priorities
smells
straight.
like-
Let's
this
do it.
smells like Everclear. Oh, they cut their rum with stuff over here.
He's
Keep
fucking
going.
100%. He's a sommelier.
Roll me a perception with
Fucking
advantage.
pirate era.
13.
With advantage?
Yeah.
It's crazy. 13. I mean, it's still good. Decent time. Every place in here is like just smells of alcohol. So like it's kind of a little overwhelming, even for somebody who's like worked in a bar for like his whole life. You're like, oh man, like these guys are drunk. Like they're like all the water here is like liquor, but you do see, while you guys are walking around, people are like, stabbing each other and, just like there is literally no rules in this place. You see that there's like a nicer looking, what seems to be kind of like an elvish bar, or like what you would have saw in like Andrial or like, like modern style bar that, it's kind of like the top rollers. Like you could just feel it.
Well, hey guys, I'm not gonna lie. Most of these bars around here, they smell like trash. But that one over there seems decent. Maybe we check that one out.
You're the expert. Lead the way.
Let's see if my my sense has paid off.
Your sommelier spider sense.
You come to this door. It's fully shut. Has like a little like there as you get there, and so you try to open the door. It's locked. It's like you gotta know the right people to kind of get in here, kind of type of vibe, and I assume you knock.
Yeah,
the door.
I'll knock and take the lead.
Okay, you knock. You see like a little like opening just open up, and you see the guy looks at you as, yeah, what you want?
Well, hello there. Just looking around for some good booze and noticed your establishment stands out among the rest. And as a barkeep myself, I just was intrigued and was wondering if me and my crew could come in and get a drink.
You, and is this show crew he sees? You know, show barely has any clothes on. You know, like
He's like leaning on like the side, like
yeah. The only thing we care about is gold around here. So, 50 gold pieces, and I'll let you in.
Fancy yourself? Oh, go for it.
no, go for it, Raven.
I was gonna say, fancy yourself a little gamble?
I like to gamble. What you got?
Well, play a little game of dice maybe, and if you win, I'll give you 60 gold. If we win, we get to come in, and the first drink is on the bar.
You see him close the door. You hear him whisper some things. He opens it back up. All right, but I get to use my dice.
Fine by me.
Yeah. All right then. What we rolling?
Want to do a straight just D20 battle?
Oh yeah. You roll a d20. He's gonna have a weighted dice because he's a scummy little pirate. Okay. And so you have to beat the number that I'm gonna roll. Okay.
Okay.
I'm rolling 3d6s. So
And that 20 kind of day.
what do you got, baby?
18.
Woo! You rolled a 16. So great job, baby.
Nice.
And he sees it. He's like, she doesn't know. And you know, and he's like, oh, blimey. All right. A deal's a deal. I'm a man of my word. But leave your weapons outside. And he opens and closes the door. You hear a bajillion locks go through, just like the most amount of security for a place like this, you know. And you come in and you see, like, you know, everything else outside is chaos and destruction. You come in here and there's like pretty much nobody here. You see that this guy is a hulking Goliath, 9, almost 10 feet, just like, you know, he came down to your level to talk to you, but as you walk in, he's at least, you know, double most of your feet. He's like a good foot or two ahead of Ert. So he makes even Ert kind of look small. But
Before we walk in, I'm going to turn to Tydox and be like, hey, Tydox, can we fit all our weapons in the bag of holding, right?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, so I'm basically, gonna tell everyone to put their weapons inside the bag because I don't want to leave them out on the porch.
Beautiful.
Show having no visible weapons just takes off. He's just like in there. He's sitting at the bar. He's gone.
Perfect.
yeah.
Jared doesn't exactly
Ert-
have weapons either.
Ert has 2 gigantic swords on his back, and you know.
I actually have 3 swords.
I know, but 2 massive swords.
Yeah.
You have too many swords.
And a shield.
Yeah. Do you put these in the bag of holding, Ert, or no?
I'm gonna sell my shield, but yeah,
Okay, so you put it all in there.
tired of this thing.
So he's put in.
Maybe shield. You ever consider ours?
Jared, you have like a staff on you. Do you put that in the bag of holding, or do you try to walk in with it?
I guess the quarterstaff, right?
Mm-hmm. It would act
Yeah,
kind of like a
put that-
cane or like a, you know, There's ways to get around it, but
Just pretend your back hurts.
Yeah, well. When was the last time you used it anyways?
Old man, he's just like,
okay. So you guys all put it. You guys put all your stuff in the bag of holding. Outside of shows, non-visible. You know, he's got a ring on, and so you come in. There's not very many patrons within this place. The biggest thing you notice is the bodyguard is like a gigantic hulking Goliath. He's actually probably even closer to a giant. So I said like 8 or 9 feet. He might even be like 12 to 13, like a mini giant. So like very large man. And you see him, you know, kind of like hulk back. That the ceiling and stuff, like it's like very tall and elegant for him. He still has to kind of like hunch over a little bit, but the place is beautiful. And on the back of the bar is a elven man who looks surprisingly very similar to Raven. Honestly, for a second, you guys all look, and it looks almost just like Raven.
Joe is like looks at the bartender, like looks at Raven, looks back, and then shows like, maybe I'm sicker than I thought I was. Raven, you got a brother?
I mean, he's a bit older than me.
And Joe's like,
I wouldn't expect to see him here.
well, your daddy was a general. Maybe he's been around a couple places.
I mean, I will say he looks like quite the handsome fellow.
it's the prettiest fucking mirror I've ever seen.
It must be different. Oops.
So you said
Oh,
the bartender looks like me, or there is a person at the bar who looks like
The bartender
the
looks
bartender? Okay.
identical to you.
So I'll go up to him. Yo, barkeep, want a bet with your buddy back there, and so we get a round on the house.
Yeah, he's turned around, you know, doing the classic like ragging the thing. He says, "Oh, I'll get to you. What will it be?"
What do you fancy? Dealer's choice.
Well, I like a bit of rum and coke, actually, myself. You know, he puts rum and then puts like full like sugar stock, like cocaine, basically, like into the rum. So it's not like Coca-Cola, but it's like rum and cocaine, basically, into this thing. Then mixes it up, and he you know starts to pour it into it. It's beautifully, as he's doing it, you see that he's like nodded through all of this stuff, and he goes in, and as soon as he turns around to hand it to you, he sees you for the first time and drops it. It's like looking in the mirror. You look at him, and he does look a bit older, but elves, it's hard for them to age and stuff. And he looks at you, and he sees you, and he says, and then he looks at his drink, and he's like, "Oh, it's like looking in the mirror."
Well, I think I could say the same thing.
Who are you?
Name's Raven. How about yourself?
Robin, actually.
Robin, eh?
Fancy. Look at us, birds of a feather. It's nice to see you.
You want to make it a little more weird? I'm also a bartender.
You don't say. We could be brothers.
Maybe. What's your surname?
Well, Falco, of course. My dad's a bit of a general. Bastard he is. He left me all the way out here in one of his escapades. I never knew my mother, but she seemed keen enough to leave me here, so
Generally
bastard.
saying.
Oh, of course. Seen all sorts of things.
What's his name?
I'm sure you've heard of him. Most people have. Francis Falcor, greatest general of the Third War. But, bastard, just up and left me. Well, good thing he did, because I ended up learning how to do this. And you just see him start to, like, clean out his thing, his cup. What
Funny
about you?
thing, he didn't abandon me, but guess what? I ended up a barkeep as well.
Just rubbing it in his face.
You see him, he's kind of holding it, and he's just like, your dad's name Francis Falcor, Well,
That, the one and only.
it explains why we look alike.
I'd
Yeah.
say so.
You're a bit younger than I am. I'm a few
Oh.
100 years old myself.
Oof. I'm I'm only 24. I'm a youngin.
Oh, just a pup, yeah? Oh. What got you into bartending?
Well, our wonderful dad chose to pick my sister to go to the military instead of me, so I got stuck with mom, bartending.
Oh, your mom's your bartender too.
Yeah,
That's
well,
cool.
she's the owner. She runs the business.
Oh, fancy you. And you out here just adventuring, or what you doing?
Yeah, it's a very long story, but let's just say my pops thinks I'm a murderer, and we're kind of on the run in a way.
Wow. A murder, you say? Hey, Chip, you hear this, Buck? He says he's a murderer. You see the big giant. He looks over and he goes, he's a murderer, but look how tiny he is. Yeah, well, he seems like a good one. And then Chip, says, well, I can touch his metal if you want. He says, nah, turns out he's my brother. And then you just see him like, oh, big belly laughs over in the side. And he says, well, I tell you what, Raven, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you get the family discount. I'll give you half off everything you see here. First one's on me, though. And he pours you a drink.
So Raven will grab the drink, lift it up, be like, to a new family, and wants to
He
cheers.
said, yeah, he cheers and says, to Francis, that bastard.
Bastard he is.
And
then-
knocks it out. And then he offers everyone else like a seat at the bar as well, and he begins to go and do his bartender stuff, and kind of walks away from your shot as he like goes and like cleans up some things, and he watches. This is like out of everything that you've seen outside this bar, like the few patrons that are here. They're all pretty calm and kind of just chilling. That they've spent a pretty high dollar to be here, so they're like they kind of don't want to be messed with. But everybody here looks very like well put together. They all, look like outlaws or wandering men who, lawless people. They've all been in here, but they kind of look regal in their things. There's probably about 5 maybe patrons that you would see just kind of sputtered about, but all of them kind of, there's like a group of 2 of them together, but then the rest of them are kind of like spread out just drinking by themselves.
Shell asks, Robin, do you guys sell clothes, or do you know where I could buy any clothes at?
Oh, blimey! You a naked fella, ain't you? Yeah, let's get you
Yeah.
something. Hey, Chip, can you get something up to this young fella up? You see Chip says, "Morning, Wolf," and you see him like come back with just like a super fancy, regal looking cloth, like way too fancy for someone like Show to like have on, but like a very like good looking getup. Purple, gold buttons. Stuff like that.
Shell, yeah, Shell. I don't think even pays attention to it, and it just puts it on, so he's clothed. And then I think he just starts like drinking.
Just starts drinking the rum and coke
Mm-hmm.
that he's poured out for all of you guys. The rest of you guys all get together and sit on this.
Yeah, sure.
Heck yeah, we drinking, Buster Brown.
All right, you guys begin to start drinking. What else do you guys would like to do here? There are, like I said, there are a few patrons here, but for the most part, this is just a nice time to just kind of relax and group together.
I need to find a shop.
And if you guys want to talk to Robin or Chip or any of the patrons too, just let me know.
My shiny teeth and me shiny teeth, shiny teeth. Chip Skylark.
Chip Scholar, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, his name's Chip because he's got a chip in his tooth.
Oh, the irony.
You got that name before you got the chip.
Yeah.
Zorpheus reminds me of Zach Oyama.
He does.
He's got those one-line bangers.
I said that at like the beginning. That was like one of the first things I noticed. He's the Zach.
He's a clever girl.
Just
Quips.
hilarious.
It's just quips.
Great quips.
All day, every day.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Shell's
most
not
of
gonna
us.
do anything. He's just gonna drink
Yeah.
and be thoughtless for a bit. So you guys
Hey,
can do.
hey, bro.
You. What can I do for you?
Well, we're new around these parts. Anything of interest we should look out for while we're here?
Stay away from the waters. So I'll tell you what. There's some ladies in there. They suck your soul out. And not in the kind you like either. But
We've already met him. Don't worry about that.
just drinking sad on the side. Oh, well, there's quite a few things to do here. This is the law of lawlessness. Anything's to take and taking's to gain. Welcome to the pirate life. It's quite fun, and just know, gold makes the world go round. So, as long as you got some gold on you, you can pretty much get and do whatever you like.
Any persons of interest we should keep an eye out for?
Whatever you mean. I think everyone's pretty interesting.
Any ringleaders, captains, people who run the place more than others?
Well, of course, there's the 9 captains of the 7 seas. They all kind of go out and about, do their thing. Just kind of stay out of it myself. Try to stand as much as I can here. But some say those 9 are run by. He kind of looks around to make sure any of the 5 that are listening aren't really listening to him. And he goes, "Oh, king themselves." As soon as he says the word king, all the patrons actually get like tensed up, and you could feel the energy in the air, just like how could you even speak of that name, his king? And he like looks around to try to like calm you. Said, "On the word of the wise, don't be just saying that." And so he keeps it like trying to hush hush, but you see like you could feel the energy in the room like deepen. That this king or whatever has like regaled such a influence on people's lives that just even hearing the Pirate King name, the name Pirate King has stunned them.
Well, we'll keep quiet about that. Does you happen to have maybe like a magical aura about him?
What do you want to know, Showbad? I'd love to tell you, Raven, but you see, he kind of like gestures at like his hands. You know, talking ain't cheap, of course. Of course, I'd give you a discount, but life's are at stake today. And I tend to like my shop.
Well, how does a solid 20 move you?
He looks at Chip. Chip looks back at him. 20, you say? I might know something that could help you out. I think 40 maybe really help me out.
Well, I mean, you've been such a good bartender. Hate to leave without a tip. So I will spend the 40.
You spend it. Just so you know how this also works, you can also try to give him things of value as well that you guys have collected throughout this year. I mean, these guys, gold is the thing that talks, but if you can find something that is worth the same amount of gold too, it's that. But 40, he takes it in his hand and says, "Pleasure doing business with you." And he gestures you to come. Hey, Chip, keep an eye on him. And he opens the table basically for you guys to come into like another room, one away from wandering eyes.
Hey, Eric, you keep an eye on a show there. Tydox, you want to come with me?
Yeah, of course.
Jared, you do what is ever best for Jared.
Jared will just enjoy a drink, I guess.
Joe like reaches behind the bar and he's like, 40 gold, we're gonna get ourselves another drink then with that tip. And then Joe grabs like a bottle from the bottom and he pours Jared a drink.
You see Chip is not happy. He's like, hey, you know it. And then you see Robin, no, it's fine. As he goes back into the, basically you see a room just kind of like appear as it like breaks open, the back of the thing, and he walks into it with Tydox and Raven. As you guys walk down there, you see it's like a cellar, but then there's a little space, a little seat, table. Looks like cards were played here at some point. And so then he kind of gestures you guys to sit down. He grabs a deck of cards and begins to like do all sorts of magical shuffling and stuff. And what is it you really want to know?
Well, we're looking for a bunch of particular items, and seems to be that these people in power tend to have possession of them, and I just wanted to know how powerful or frightening this king fella really is.
So you tell me you felt it too. Something weird's been brewing up lately. This Pirate King. He wasn't always the Pirate King. Honestly, I thought it was a myth at first, but then all of a sudden, this place just started feeling a rumbling, a bumbling up towards the cove over there. It just seemed weird. I've seen a lot people go up in mission. So then we started locking our doors. I don't know what he'd been doing up there, but whoever this Pirate King is, he's a nasty fella. You're a brother of mine, so try to keep it as simple as possible. I'd say stay away from him. Maybe we can help run this place. I could always use a hand or something. Chip's hands are too big to be cleaning the bars, and just as he says that, you hear like, like crash, and then you hear Chip saying, sorry, and then the rest of you guys that are out see Chip just like manhandling some of the drinks and just breaking some of the bottles as he's like, trying to like pour some drinks for some other of the patrons, and it's really not good at being a bartender. But you hear Robin come back, and he offers you basically maybe you can instead quit this life and start working for him.
Well, here's the thing I know about business is weird. It's never good for business. I also know you can either run a place like this in the rule of law, or you can run it in a, let's say, chaotic place like this. And just in my hunch that a chaotic place like this shouldn't be run by one fella. So
That's what I was thinking. That's why I could use somebody to come help out. If you like, I'd love to hear more about your story and how the old bastard's doing.
well, is there anything else you can tell us about this king fella? Be happy to talk more over a drink.
Only rumors, but I think someone you should go see. It's one of the 9 captains of the 7 seas. Those guys, nasty bunch.
You have any connections with any of them?
Well,
Or a particular one you recommend us seeking out?
just so happens one of them's here today. Nasty fella, though. He doesn't like being bothered in his time of drinking. He pays quite a bit of money to be here, so I tend to just keep him in good spirits, if you know what I mean. He sits up there, and all he does is drink with his companion. I think it's his first mate. And, well, only be careful. Those 9 are nasty bunches.
Well, I'll try my best not to start trouble, but I brought a few nasty bunches myself.
Oh, I can't wait to hear you regale all your stories. You seem like you got a good little brother. He kind of stops for a second and looks at you. It's too bad, though. Not many people would leave this place in one piece, so gotta go head and shoulders about you.
Well, if everything goes well a few months from now, I'll have to make a trip back around to see you.
I wouldn't like that. Just let Chip know and tell him I'll give you the family discount, only half off. Alright? I still gotta run the business here.
Of course. Understood. Tyrex, you have anything you wanna ask about?
I not necessarily at this time. I feel like maybe we should regroup and kind of just lay low. We got some information, but I'm still a little gun shy with what happened on the way here.
That's fair. I guess I'm the only one who slept through it. For my buddy here, is there any shops or something of the like around here where he can get?
He sees him in this like giant mech suit for the first time.
I don't think we're in the
Oh.
mech suit because we were.
Are
told
you
to
not?
leave the weapons.
Okay,
no,
good,
we were
good.
told to leave the weapons at the door, so we're.
Yeah, I don't know
He's
if you
just
had put your
little-
mech suit in the bag of holding or.
Yeah.
Little
Okay.
packs.
Yeah. So then he does look over at you, and he says, "Oh, you did one. Well, every shop you hear sells booze. I know a guy. Yeah, and like I said, I'll give you a fair price for it. But most of the places you see around here are for drinking, or for shooting, or for killing. Sometimes people just be killing for fun. I try to stay out of it."
Well, with a rowdy crowd like that, you probably often need repairs made to things. So, if there's any way of we could be of service in that regard.
Oh. Well, now that you mention that, how you feel about fixing up some boats?
Yeah.
Everybody needs some good boat fixing. You could probably run a good business down here. That's a good idea.
Wonderful.
You see him like pull out a piece of paper and then start writing. That he came up with it. Yeah, repair boats. No one ever thought about that. That's a good idea.
We just throw them away usually.
Yeah, we just throw them away. Exactly. That's the vibe you get from it. Yeah, we just throw them away.
Well, Tydox, if you ever want to retire, sounds like we've got a good business opportunity. Alright, and then,
Yeah,
much obliged, brother.
should
We'll
see.
head back to our crew.
he leads you guys out of the thing, kind of grabs a couple bottles, and as he gets out, he's like, "Now this is some fine stuff," like as he like bellows out to the people, that he only went back to get the good stuff for you.
So,
The rest of you guys. While they were doing that, talking, you guys were drinking. Chip's breaking all these things around there. You guys don't really notice or see anything, but you do start to feel like people are just like kind of staring at you, uncomfortably, like, especially towards Ert.
Towards Ert.
Towards Ert, yeah.
so nothing new.
It was me. Yeah.
Can we, while it's in the bag of holding, can his sword still glow? Or the orb? Sorry, not the sword. Oh, yeah.
Well, it would have been the sword. That's
Yeah,
what they put
that's
the orb
right.
on. You wouldn't see it from the outside, but if you look into the bag of holding, you could see it.
Okay, because I
Um,
basically want to ask Tydox to check on it and see if, like, basically, see if it's
Tydox-
glowing on this island.
On the island, it is pulsing. Ert asked about it earlier. It is pulsing. That is within this chain of islands. That there is some sort of magic item. It's at that cadence. It doesn't feel like it may be on this island. You don't feel like you're in the same room as it. Rather, like it could be on this island, but it's likely in this chain of islands.
Well,
Yeah, I relay that information.
alright. But, well, what do you think, Tydox? I think between this guy everyone's talking about and the sword. There's got to be something. He's probably the most likely person to have whatever we're looking for.
Yeah, that definitely would be a very big indicator of power and clout with everybody talking about him. But how do we propose that we go see him or get an audience without him just killing us on the spot?
Well, if it seems we have 9 captains that we can bug and see if they
Yeah.
know anything or can help us out. Supposedly that guy over there is one of them. He
Sure.
said, be careful bothering him in his quiet place.
Yeah.
But that might be our best lead to start, or we can explore around. And I don't know how far we're gonna go with the state shows in.
Yeah.
I think as you guys are talking about show, and he like notices the people staring at Ert, and he's just like, "What? You've never seen a lizard folk before?" And then he's just like just already just wasted. I think pretty much just like stop looking at us.
Um,
Brittany alone.
Leave
yeah,
Brittany alone.
you see that these guys like grumble, and turn around, and then the two that have been unbothered are like the captain and his first mate. They haven't really they've looked over, but they haven't been the ones grumbling. It's been the other 3 that have been like kind of staring at you weird. And then you hear one of them pipe up, "Lizard folk. Lizard folk don't have wings, stupid."
Trust me, he ain't no dragon, and the wings don't work. He's just a weird mutant man or something. I don't know.
Mutant man. And gets up, and he's also wasted, just that guy, and he comes up to you, and kind of puffs his chest. He's about 5'7", 5'8", but he carries himself like he's about 6'5", if you understand, He's walking up to you, big chested. "You think I'm some stupid? I don't know what a lizard folk is."
Shell stands up to his full height of 6,
Yeah.
whatever, 6'2" or whatever, and he looks down and he's like, "The only person who calls himself stupid is you. I just told you he's a lizard folk. Now keep your eyes to yourself."
And then you see him kind of poke you in the chest and say, "Just because you're bigger than me doesn't mean that I'll listen to you."
I'm telling you to listen to me because you're bothering us. You keep your eyes to yourself, and I won't be telling you to do nothing.
"I'm bothering you? Look how ugly this man is. He's bothering me."
So just laughs. Probably actually thinks that's sweet. It's so funny. It's me like, "Oh my god, Ert, he thinks you're ugly and he can't sit at the same bar as you." Haha. And I didn't show him. He just lays on the ground, just falls on, just throwing his tantrum. He thinks it's so funny.
And you see the guy, he's like, yeah, he is ugly. I can't stand at the bar.
Now we're best friends, and we're gonna drink with that guy.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, Robin, get them a drink on me." And you see him toss him a platinum, and which is 1,000 coins. So it's just nothing to him. So he just tosses him 1 platinum, and the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, right away. Hey, you should probably sit down on the drinking, because sure run for you wasted, my friend." He's like, we're just getting more sorts of things, and they're back and forth, and uh, he's an ugly son of a bitch. He's starting to laugh at his own joke, and because you're laughing so hard, he's like, yeah, yeah. And then he passes out, just fucking on the spot, basically, like just passes him the 1,000 and just like gets in. And Robin looks over and he's like, "Hey, Chip," and then he just gets in, and then he takes that guy and just picks him up and just tosses him out the door, and then closes it, locks it back up. Yeah.
Raven, as much as I want to continue for tonight, I feel like we might be getting to a point where, if we leave the captain out much longer, it might not end well. Maybe.
Yeah. You ain't wrong on that, mate. Hey, Robin, you got a spot we can crash for the night?
Yeah, of course. Family special. Only 50 gold apiece. Unless you want to stay in one room.
We'll stay in one room. Oh, 50
Oh.
gold a piece.
Oh,
Is that after
sweet,
you give me a
man.
discount?
I might be drunk, but I'm not a fool.
And Shell just starts like shuffling away.
And he said, yeah, you get you the suite. It's the big one. It's for the honeymoon, just for the lovers, you see. But it's pretty big for, and I said, if you're into that sort of thing. And he kind of winks at you. He says, that suite is 75, all right?
75. Oh my gosh. How much? I don't even know if we have that much money. We already spent 40.
Oh, yes. You guys, I don't think you guys have that much money at all. I think Jared does for sure, but
You're
Yeah.
nice.
Shit.
I have about
I'm not sure the
100
Jared will let
left.
you sleep in the room if he's paying for it.
I have
I'm
39 gold.
I'm going to
You're
tell
sleeping in
you
bed.
something right now, Robin. On a half that you're Raven's brother-in-law, you give it to us for 40, and I won't burn this place to the ground. How about some extortion for you?
he pretty much stabs him to the ground. Or that I offered him a
We-
job.
Yeah, we give you 40 gold for that type of information. So you got 80 now total. So that's pretty good. You can consider that for the room. 80 total. There you go.
Yeah, but then what about all my drinks I've been giving you? Hey, ain't free. Oh, sure, I gotta run a business, even though he's
Don't-
family.
That man just gave you 1,000. He covered all my drinks. He made me laugh so hard. What a great guy.
Go ahead and roll either a persuasion or an intimidation, which depending on what you want to do to him. We'll say what either will have consequences or
I'm going to go with persuasion rather than intimidation. I got a 13 plus 2, 15.
15 is enough. He weighs out the platinum. He spins it around in his hand and he says, "Platinum? I mean, just chump change, but you know what? It's your long lost brother. It's fine to me." And he's like, I'll get you out of here." And so he gets you the suite and the ushers you guys together. And so he kind of shows you where to go. The suite is beautiful. It's got like one bed for a giant, basically. So like all 5 of you could fit on it comfortably and not even have to like really worry, to be honest. It's also like the middle of the morning too. So like I know you guys have been drinking for a little bit, but it's like it's like a little. It's like imagine like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. maybe, So like, it's still very early for you guys, but you guys can chill and hang out, and be in the bed and bedroom and stuff. But
I think before we went up, Raven, I know I can take the captain, but if you wanted to talk to the guy over there that we were want to maybe we let him know. It seemed like it was a rather good idea, the ship repair. So Tyduck's like chisels out a quick, almost like a business card of sorts of like a here you can give him this, and then he'll know how to get a hold of us if he needs.
Get a
stuff.
hold of it. Gonna whistle 3 times.
Yeah,
And then...
yeah, right.
Sweet.
Huh.
Yeah. So I think you guys are ushered into the suite, and that is probably where we'll call it for the session. And then we can kind of pick up either whatever you guys do throughout the rest of the day. You guys will have pretty much a while to think about what's next. So, but congratulations, you guys made it to the Cutthroat Isles.
We did
So-
it. We get another level.
But he died.
We didn't
Level
fight
7.
it.
Hell yeah.
We got our pub up by some things.
That's it.
Lots of somethings.
It's true.
All right.
Are we live still or no?
We are.
Oh yeah.
Sign us off.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for being here and for joining us again. We will see you guys in like a month, actually. But for you guys, it'll be like in no time at all. You guys will barely even notice. But appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. Everybody, go ahead and say goodbye.
The
Bye.